Audio levels all right? All right. So, welcome. One round left. We'll start in a minute. Let's give a couple people a chance to get in here. You're the only guy in here right now. Well, technically 4 people just showed up. So yeah, welcome. This is the live stream where you guys can ask me pretty much anything you want to. It doesn't have to be just firearms, although I am a primarily firearm channel now. But feel free to ask me anything you want, either way you want. Cars, firearms, technology, life in general, whatever you want to talk about, and we can have some fun with that. A bunch of you guys are already texting in, so let's see. Welcome, DB. Nice to see you're up again. Richard, how you doing? Christmas was pretty uneventful. Basically, I slept most of it. We'll get into that in a second. Just saying hi to everybody. Mark, what's going on? Yeah. So let's. Is the Gerson 2023 really that good? I can't put it on camera, but I'll be happy to talk about that. Let's go to one round left. We're gonna start with yours because yours was the first question. What got me into firearms was a long time ago when I was 19, 20. So we're talking 24 years ago. I used to live in Minnesota, and my best friend at the time, he's still really good friends of mine, but I haven't seen him in like 4 years. Off and on, once or twice a year I'll go and see him, or once or twice every couple of years I'll go and see him. We went to a gun show, and the first gun I picked up was actually a Witness something or other. It was a Witness 9. So it was a long ass time ago. This was when it was still under EA, and it was a semi-automatic, but I don't remember exactly which one it was because it was that long ago. And I fell in love with firearms. But then I got into the car business in 2001, and that basically took all my time. Then I got into gambling, which was a bad thing because that took all my money. And then after 2017, after I nearly died, was when I bought my first gun. I almost died in April. I bought my first gun in October of 2017. And then my buddy Daniel and his father started a store in 2019 that I helped them set up, which is why I get my discounts and my deals and stuff, because he's my best friend. I'm basically like the uncle to their daughter. So don't pick on her. So yeah, that's how I got into guns. Is the Gerson 2023 okay? Well, number one, I did the research because somebody made a comment in the 2311 video. Apparently, Staccato, being a bunch of a-holes like the Fine Brothers, decided to trademark 2011, even though technically Arsenal made that double 1911 and called that a 2011 first. But Staccato, being the a-holes they are, they kind of patented it. Oh yeah, I put a 15-inch monitor inside of my computer, but they patented the 2011 name, so everybody else is calling them 2311s, 3011s, all that stuff. It feels like it needs a lot of work, but once the work gets done, it should be a pretty nice firearm. Sorry, my leg is elevated, so the camera's getting bumped around a little bit. Move you around a little bit more. There we go. Yep. So this is going to sound like first world issues, but a family member needed another flight for the year in order to maintain their flight status. So I drove her to the airport Christmas morning at 5 o'clock, came home and didn't sleep for a couple hours, and then I slept for like 9 hours because I didn't sleep the night before. I have this habit of not sleeping before I have to travel. It's not a good way to live. Hi, CJ. How are you? Did Santa bring you anything good? No, because I don't ask for anything every year. I get cards. Cards are all I care about. My friends, they give me cards. I get gift cards every now and then, but I'm 44 years old, man. I buy what I want. I don't need things. So when people give me stuff, cool, but I never ask for anything. So Gaston Glock kicked the can today. Huh. That is interesting. That means hopefully there'll be some innovation at Glock now, because he's been the number one stringent person against change at Glock. So hopefully that will actually lead to some innovations. Maybe they'll actually put a different slide cut or different trigger into their guns moving forward. That would be interesting. I'd like to see that. What do I think of the Rock Island 1911 A1? I've had them. I like them. They function very well. I prefer one with upgradable sights. I don't like the GI version of the A1, but I do like the A1 in general. My very first handgun was a Rock Island double stack A1 in 9mm 22 TCM. Loved it. And rocked that thing for 5 or 6 months before I sold it. I'm not a proponent of keeping guns that aren't rare or interesting. I have a couple of safes full of guns that I really like, and then throwaway guns, Rock Island guns, Taurus, Smith & Wesson M&P series. All those guns are easily replaceable, so I'll sell those in order to get more interesting stuff for the channel. Like I'm selling a couple of my guns to pay for the Gerson and the Smith & Wesson Response AR9, which I did a video on, which will be coming out. So make sure you're a member of the channel to watch that video. Stupid STI more better. I agree, because STI, for those of you that don't know, STI is the original company that Staccato eventually became. STI was strictly competition. They had the Edge, the Eagle, the Infinity. They were full dust covers without rails. They were double stack 45s, 9mm. They did a 38 Super. They were like creme de la creme of competition pistols. However, competition pistols don't pay all the bills. So the guys at Staccato rebranded from STI and rebranded the STI into the Staccato C series and the current version, the XL with the optic cuts, all that stuff. Those are considered duty guns, not competition pistols. So that's why he was saying that. So wish I can super chat so I can ask if this is really homie's medication on that tower. This is metformin. I am non-insulin dependent diabetic, mainly because I used to have really bad blood sugars. I don't eat things with sugar much anymore. My diet is way better. I'm working on getting healthy. However, I do have to take this twice a day. So that is homie's pill bottle up there. The interesting thing is that I take 3,000 milligrams of Excedrin at a time, and I take between 4 to 6 doses a day. So I take anywhere from 24 to 30 Excedrin a day to keep the headaches down. So it's a Prodigy, spend $1,100, dump $500 more into it. No, because number one, the gun comes in at $920 street price. I paid a lot less than that because the actual cost of the gun is much less than $920. And at the price I paid to it, I could dump $700 into it and still have less than a Prodigy into it. And I'll have all billet parts because I'm doing the Ed Brown Beaver Tail, which I showed in the community tab, but I'm also doing the Wilson Combat backstrap, firing pin, springs, trigger. Basically, it's going to be all Wilson Combat except for the Ed Brown Beaver Tail, which I had laying around because it doesn't fit into my Para Ordnance double stack 1911. Let's see what happened in 2017. I basically died in a motorcycle accident, heart stopped, lost a finger. That sucks. I'm glad you're still around. In 2017, it's a long story. If you go back and look at the video, I made a video back in April of 2017. I believe it was April. It might have been March because I was in the hospital for a while. But I tried to unalive myself, basically. I'm always in a constant state of pain. It's hard to describe without everybody in the world thinking they feel the exact same level of pain I do. On your scale of 1 to 10, you go to the hospital, they say a 10 is like breaking your femur, 9 is like childbirth, 8 is like, well, I'm always at a 7.5 to an 8, always. Sometimes I'm in a little less pain, sometimes I'm in more pain, but I'm always at that level, and no doctors were taking me seriously, and it led to a dark place. So there you go. That's how I almost died in 2017. Luckily, I came to my senses before it had gone too far, and I called an ambulance. I required 4 blood transfusions, and I was in ICU for a week because my white blood cells just wouldn't recover. So now I have the blood of, I believe, a southern black old lady because I love sweet potatoes now. Couldn't stand them before, but now I love sweet potatoes. So, but the new Glock is a 17 with a 19 frame. Yeah, well, all they're doing is they're just taking every version of their gun and smashing them together, because all a 47 is a 45 with a 17 with a cup for a 19 spring. So you can make a 19L. Now they're putting the 17 with a 19 frame. Okay, so it's the same thing as a 47. Just buy a fucking 47 and get a 19 grip module, I guess. Scored an SET frame built for 60 clams new. Nice. Have I shot a SIG P320 X5? If so, would you recommend the gun? If not, would you try sometime? I have videos on the channel. I've had both the standard X5 and my favorite gun out of the X line was my X5 Legion full size. There is a video on the channel. Check it out. There is some shooting videos. It's one of the most accurate guns I owned, and it had the lightest spring at like 7 pounds. I wound up selling that to my buddy Ryan because it's, again, an easily replaceable gun. I wanted other guns, so I sold it to him. Beautiful guns. I definitely recommend them. However, I would recommend that you go from the X5, which is like $600, to an X5 Legion, which gives you the tungsten frame. It's a heavy gas gun. It's like 46 ounces, but it's definitely worth the extra weight because you're going to wind up with a much easier to shoot firearm. So, but yeah, the SIG X line is just better in every respect. You said duty. 3,000. And further interesting, the weight loss effect of metformin is more pronounced in people of East Asian descent. Huh, I'm Korean, so maybe it'll work for me. Let's see. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're still with us. I've been there, buddy. Well, there you go. Junebug Mommy. What do I think about the Stoeger STR-9? I've played with one. I don't have any shooting experience with one. Seems like a pretty good firearm. Let's see. Had a G45, dumped it, built compact dagger with X compact slide, 19 frame, 17 slide with a Swamp Fox. It's sweet. I appreciate that. That's a good setup. Come on, go back up. Yeah, there we go. Also, I've been looking at other double stack alternatives. I'm kind of leaning towards the Platypus versus the Oracle Arms. The Oracle Arms is the other one that's called the 2311, or is that the 3011? That Gerson copied. Somebody left a comment in another video. They're like, why would you buy Turkish stuff? It isn't a direct copy of the Prodigy. It's more of a copy of the Staccato, but they call it the 2311, obviously, since 2011 is trademarked, but also because they're just unoriginal. They just like to steal names. I think we talked about it last time. They make the Night Train, the M45A1 clone, the Raider, I think they call it. I don't know why they call it the Raider. That's a dumb name for a gun. They should have just called it the CQB 45. If they were smart, they could have gotten away with that, and everybody would have known what it is. Are you liking? Oh, got 2 frames and a boatload of Lone Wolf parts. That's awesome. TSOS Raider, thank you. Same thing. TSOS, Gerson, both Turkish companies, both stealing designs and ideas from every other manufacturer. Let's see. Am I liking the PDP? I didn't shoot it. Didn't buy it. It was the compact. I want the full size. I want the standard one. That was a PDP F I was looking at. And that is it was a regular PDP. So I'm thinking about getting a PDP F and putting a full size top on it. I like the grip on the F a little bit better. Funny enough, F stands for female. The PDP F was designed for women, but it fits every hand better. A few friends have the Oracle. They have sent them back for problems. That's an unfortunate and interesting thing to learn. Sorry, I normally wear a hoodie, so I'm a little self-conscious. But yeah, I have heard that. Also, Live Free Armory guns tend to have a lot of problems. It's interesting because we had 2 of their guns come back. We actually sent one back to the manufacturer, and they had it for 2 months, and basically all they did was they peened the end of the roll pin that kept walking. If you know gunsmithing, your roll pin is open typically. A roll pin will be versus the frame pins and all that stuff. A real roll pin that's open on the end, they'll put one in, it's usually flared on one end or the other, and then they just put a little, you put it against usually a Delrin block, and then you put a small punch in the end that has the opening, and you widen that opening out so that it mechanically interacts with the frame or whatever part you're using it on, be it the ejector or whatever. And then they sent it back, but they had the gun for over 2 months, and then for the next gun they said just do that. So it's crazy that some of their tolerances are unfixable that way. Cracked around the, yep, see, mainspring housing. That sucks. The Oracle cracked around the mainspring housing. Okay, I got to check out this Priest 2011. Okay, don't look up the movie Priest 2011 because that came out in 2011. Okay, here we go. It's a pretty looking gun. Double stack 1911 from Voodoo Gunworks. Doo-doo-doo. The more I look at it, I don't like the horizontal slide cuts. So if that's on every one of them, that's a no for me, dog. Yeah, no, that doesn't look good. Yep, it's on all the guns. That would actually stop me from buying one of their guns. I do not like that cut. What I'm talking about, if you've seen the Voodoo guns, just Google it while you're watching me. They have 3 horizontal slide cuts that go through the side of the frame or the side of the slide. I don't like that, so that's gonna be a no for me, dog. Odyssey maybe, yeah, Voodoo, yeah. So yeah, I'm just taking a look at it. It's one of the benefits to sitting at my computer while live streaming is I can look up whatever the hell I want. Yeah, I mean it's a good looking gun, but those cuts just, no, not for me. But it's funny because if you look up Priest 2011, it brings up the movie. I wonder if I can mill that shit off. You'd wind up cutting into the slide, but I think that could be milled off. Also, leave it in the comments. Are you or are you not a fan of ambidextrous controls? Because or ambidextrous grip safety or external manual safeties on 1911s. I can take them or leave them. Even though I shoot ambidextrous, I can take it or leave it. He has a YouTube channel. He hates the thumb safeties and it jammed first 50 rounds. You're not wrong-handed. Me personally, I'm not a fan of the look. I'll take a Prodigy. Buys a $3,500 pistol, mills it. Yeah, I would. I mean, I almost did it to the DWX when I had that. I almost cut it for an SRO because CZ and their infinite oopsie wisdoms did not mill the top of the DWX for an optics. Giggity. The Skywalker. Hello, Mr. Skywalker. You know, I only see like 5 people talking and there's 15 of you watching. Engage with me, kids. Ask me stuff. Car stuff. Boat stuff. Airplane stuff. You know, I went to a high school that specialized in aviation studies. Yeah. They was going to let me fly the plane. I still might get a private pilot's license. I don't know if I can do that with my handicap, though. Also, being a double amputee, toe braking is kind of hard to do when you don't have toes. Meow. Meow. Buys a hardtop Viper, takes a Sawzall to it. You actually don't have to. It's a good joke, but the Viper is actually designed not to have a top on it. If you look at the SCC Vipers that were built on the last generation of Viper, if you actually look at the construction of the Viper, there's a seam on the roof at the windshield level, and there's a seam where the hatch goes on. That car was always designed to be made as a hardtop and a convertible. They just never released the convertible. So I get the joke, but it's actually true. Why are you going to sell your Galant? I'll give you $40 right now. And this Nintendo Wii U stand. I'll sign it. Then it'll be worth less. No, this isn't a bidding war. It's my channel. Come on, I'll ban you. $40. I already called it. You're speaking to a kid that grew up in a Chrysler family there, Lobster. Don't give a fuck cars. Don't give a fuck cars because they are single-purpose cars. Every other sports car manufacturer kept on making their cars more and more usable every day, where the Viper, even though it did get traction controls and windows for all the crazies out there that didn't like having no door handles and shit, the Viper stayed very raw throughout its entire run. Manual only. The engine kept getting more power. It kept smelling just like a Corvette, where it smells like a weird ass boat that's been wet. But yeah, it is a don't give a fuck car, but only because it's not for everybody. If you are a Viper fan, you're a hardcore Viper fan. I'd love to own a Viper. I've had Vets, I've had all kinds of stuff, but I've never owned a Viper. I do want to buy a Viper. Makes 500 wheel horsepower every time I drive it. Something breaks. Take the spring out of your blow-off valve so it stays closed. That would drop you down to like 350. Or it'll explode. I can't remember which way it goes. No, you need to put a bigger spring in it so it opens farther. Opens easier. Yeah, if you close your blow-off valve, your engine will explode. The thoughts and opinions of the Jiminy Show are not in any way to be taken as advice as to function of your vehicle. Anything you do to your vehicle cannot come back to me in any kind of way, unless you sell me the car for $40. You like turtles. Well, I like pie. Electronic driving aid? Nah, just super wide tires. No, they gave it traction control. And then they gave it 140 more horsepower. Because traction control was for the government, and the more power was so that the traction control didn't work. Because if you recall, the very last Vipers were all over 600 horse. Kind of likes the GT500, honestly. It was intense. I almost bought one. I was working for a Ford dealer. Now, when you're a dealer, you don't actually work for the manufacturer. I was working for a Ford dealer, and we had a white GT500 that was sitting on our showroom. It actually wound up being sold to a Johnson & Johnson executive, I think. But I almost bought that instead of my GT Track Pack. I bought a 2014 GT Track Pack because I was able to get it for under 30 grand because I was working for the dealership, and it had all the Boss coolers, the Boss transmission, Boss rear end, oil cooling system, radiator capacity. Everything was Boss except the engine, so it was 420 horse versus 444. I think that was worth the trade-off. I could have gotten the GT500. The difference in payment would have only been a couple of $100, and the insurance would have only been $17 more, because that was back in 2014 before all you people with bad credit kept ruining insurance rates. We should talk about that. Let me know if you want me to expand on that. Lobster, they're kind of like the last of the you gotta need balls to drive this car sports car. Yeah. It's basically what would have happened if there were no holds barred and you built a Miata that way, because Miatas were very driver focused cars, but they had 140 horsepower, so they were drivable. Extreme Wastegate, 31 psi, built engine and head. It's the 30 plus year drivetrain. 31 psi. Well, that explains the 500 horsepower, but holy shite. Viper got super hot inside from the engine heat. Yes, a lot of guys would do all that super thick heat wrap around them. Who's your favorite schizo YouTuber? P.S. Shout out to Risky Krisky. Okay, Risky Krisky. I don't know who you are, but I just shouted you out in a video with 12 watchers. You've made it, my man. Schizo YouTuber. What do you mean by schizo? Like somebody that does skits, or somebody that's a little... I don't actually watch a lot of YouTubers. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a content creator. So I don't actually watch a lot of them. Also, I hold a bit of a grudge against a few of them. It's kind of asinine when they claim that they're very like audience oriented. They'll be like, hey man, I'm here for you. If you ever have a problem, contact me. I'll help you. Reach out to me through social media or even the email and all this crap, and I'll help you. And then they don't. I had a problem where I was getting false strikes on my channel, and as a gun reviewer, that's not good because they can pile up. So I reached out to basically everybody that I respected, but because I only had 120,000 or 150,000 subscribers at the time, nobody gave a shit. I wasn't a big enough channel that they would even have anything to do with me, and plus most of my growth came from shorts. All that I think combined for all of them, and I reached out to 5 different creators, emails, Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder, Grinder, everything you could think of to get a hold of some of these people, and literally none of them would answer back. And on Instagram, they're sitting there, and it's a plague that I've noticed with all these guys. As soon as these channels are hitting 1 million subs, 1,000,005, 2 million, they literally don't give a shit about their audience anymore because they're working on their brand deals or they're working to make these stupid ass videos that are too over the top. I still film on my phone on my damn couch because I'm not going to change how I do it, regardless of what comes down the pipeline. And I think it's bullshit when your favorite creator does that to you. So I stopped watching pretty much any of the creators that I had messaged. Old Crown Vic retired detective car. If you can get one that isn't rusty, Crown Vics are great. I've got a bunch of them. I enjoy funny conspiracy stuff. Well, I do watch, like yesterday I got caught up watching Blue, what was that? Blue Cop Cam, the Wisconsin police videos channel, because apparently they have like one of the easiest to access body cam systems. So it's pretty interesting to watch them. Yeah, it was. And I finally found out how. It took me 9 hours of contact between me and 3 different divisions of YouTube community help. But what happened was somebody reported my video saying I was trying to sell my personal firearms through YouTube, and they just automatically sided with the complainant without actually looking at the video because it was firearms. Oh God, he's doing firearms, so he's obviously the bad guy. So they gave me the strike, and yeah, it took me 3 days to get it all figured out. But yeah, at the end of it, they offered me a shorts community customer support, a direct line for me for shorts, because that's where all the problems are coming from. It's these people over on the shorts that don't watch the long form, and then they're assholes. Anyways, car question. I haven't been using my car lately, about 6 months now. I use my motorcycle daily, though I run the motor every other day for 10 minutes or so. Do I need to follow the oil change schedule? You actually shouldn't run it that much, especially if you're just sitting there idling. Idling kills engines. Idling is the worst thing you can do. If you just once a week jump in your car driving around the block, that will more than take care of all the internals, everything like that. In terms of the oil change schedule, again, if you actually drive it around the block, then you could safely assume that you can follow the average or the advertised oil change schedule on your car. If you idle it for 10 minutes, it doesn't circulate very well. When it gets oil up to the top, that oil just sits. And in fact, sometimes the oil doesn't even go up, because when you're sitting at an idle, like my Hemi in my Durango at idle sits at 29 PSI, but when I'm driving it, it's at 51 PSI of oil pressure. So imagine your engine just sitting there at 29 PSI, and that oil doesn't make it all the way up to your lifters, and you're just getting a dry engine up top that's running for 10 minutes without actually getting exerted. Get out there, drive the shit out of your car. Not, don't race it, but get out there, drive your car once a week around the block, couple of miles, more than enough to take care of it. It's all about the Benjamins, sellouts. We ain't got rust in Florida. Here in Virginia, it's pretty light. It snowed twice last year, so the roads were pretty good. My Durango came from Maryland. Had to have been garage kept. I could literally sit there and do surgery on the undercarriage of it. It was that clean. So I wash it every other day. I bought one of those unlimited wash packages. So 3 to 4 times a week I wash my Durango. I don't necessarily believe any of it, but it's funny to listen to some of the crazy things people believe. Yeah, that's true. It gets difficult. If you've been following in the firearms sphere, there was CSR Firearms, the guy that was selling the auto key cards as a novelty, but then he makes a video showing, hey, if you were to cut this out on this line and you were bending it using this device and you put it in this firearm, it becomes fully automatic. He was a manufacturer. He had an 07 license. He was allowed to make fully automatic firearms for demonstration purposes. What he wasn't allowed to do was advertise the sale of an item that had a close enough spec that if you did what he was telling you, which was him directing you on how to modify the firearm or the auto key card into the auto sear, then you have a problem. To be clear, before anybody walks away, stop. I fully believe that we should have freedom to own whatever we want, as long as we're law-abiding. We aren't hurting anybody else. We're not putting anybody in danger. I believe we should be able to have machine guns. We should be able to have destructive devices. Grenade launchers, maybe not so much, because I see a lot of redneckery happening, and that's not going to be a good thing. But it's also a self-correcting problem, so maybe we should just go ahead. TNT for everybody. But yeah, I don't believe that we should have our rights infringed. I don't believe that we should be censored in what we can and cannot own. I do believe that my suppressors should not take me 6 months to acquire. That being said, you also shouldn't be teaching people how to violate the current established and accepted laws. Get the laws changed first, then educate. There, I'm off my soapbox. I hate politics, but people ask. Why I bought mine? Yeah, I think you said that last time, and I'm glad that it worked. The Gerson Regard is a great copy of the Beretta 92. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. You just have to be careful with magazine compatibility. Change the oil once a year minimum for condensation's sake. Yeah, especially if you're, let's say that you let it run 10 minutes every day, every other day. So you're going to let it run 180 days, 10 minutes. Let's say that if you were to be, let's say you keep your foot on the accelerator to build up pressure and you get it up to freeway RPMs. So 10 miles a day, 10 times every other day, so you're talking about 150 miles a month. So at the end of the year, you're talking 2,000 miles worth of running your engine. I would change the oil. Yeah, I agree. I build and sell turbos for, are you still, oh wait, that was DB, that was on the beach. And sell turbos for a living. I love wintertime. People don't warm up their vehicles properly and start and boost. Boom! Money for me. Yeah. There's been a YouTuber or a content creator or a shorts maker, I think it was actually a TikTok that was re-uploaded to YouTube, where he was talking about the appropriate amount of time it takes to warm up your car is the time it takes you to put on your seatbelt. Take from that what you want. It all depends on how you treat your engine. If you're the kind of person that does 10,000 mile oil changes, I don't recommend that, especially if it's at the end of your oil cycle life. If you're following the book and you're doing oil changes every 10,000 miles in your car, don't just get in it, fire it up, put on your seatbelt and go, because that could cause damage to the engine. My recommendation, if you're asking me personally, is you start your vehicle and you let the revs come down on their own. You come down to idle on your own. That could take 20 seconds, could take a minute. If it's a super cold day out, it could take a little bit longer. But once the idle comes back down to normal, because that's also heating up the cats faster, which will increase your fuel economy, believe it or not. Once the RPMs come down, then you're pretty much good to go. He did make a good point. Drive it at normal speeds. Don't beat on it until your oil temperature comes up. Then you're good to go. But I don't recommend just getting in, firing it up, doing this, and then driving your car away, because a lot of you guys out there change your oil so infrequently, you're just going to blow up your engines listening to that clown. What's in oil? Let's see. I want a stealth bomber. Larry Vickers, I want a stealth bomber. What's an oil change? You are like ping, ping, ping. But yes, what's an oil change? $50 for cheap insurance. Yeah. Also, I have friends that will buy cheap brake parts, cheap suspension parts, and then wonder, number one, why they wear out faster, and number two, why would you trust your life to a $30 wheel bearing? A factory one costs $100 and an upgrade aftermarket one costs $150. I would rather put the investment in right up front and just be done with it. That said, there are some companies that are manufacturing specific items that do save a little bit of money. Detroit Axle, they actually make some decent stuff. I wouldn't recommend them for high performance applications, but for your standard replacement stuff, I had a 300. I was able to replace both front wheel bearings, all four brakes for like $500 for the cost of everything. And I think that was fair. Yeah. Sorry, I was eating cookies earlier. Beretta M9A1 or CZ SP01. I'm going to take the SP01 just because I like the trigger a little bit better. I know they're both available DASA. I still think the SP01 has a slightly better trigger. The Beretta I like just because of the cool factor. I like the exposed barrel. I like the upgradability to threaded barrels because suppressors. However, I think the SPO1 is, in my opinion, slightly better, although they're both great guns. You let your twin turbo warm up even in South Florida. Yeah, that's the way I was. When I lived in Minnesota, I used to let my car warm up the entire, until it was at operating temperature. I will waste $1 in gas if it makes my engine safer. It's easy, but I have the Beretta already. You're a huge fan. Huge OEM factory person. You drive a modified, oh wait, I'm getting you all mixed up. You're like my cousins. What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? What's he doing? Thoughts on the recently released Beretta small pistol, the Tomcat, Wildcat, or whatever cat species it's named after? Do you mean the Cheetah, the 380? From what I've seen, number one, it's way overpriced. $800? No, not for a 380. I would rather get an old one because you can get them for a little bit less. It seems like a nice gun, but if you watch guys like Honest Outlaw, he got one and it ripped the crap out of his hands, and his hands are like mine. I got big hands. This is a screw for scale. No, I'm just kidding. I have big hands, okay? This is a regular pen, and you can see I've got bigger hands. So my hands would get bitten to kingdom come if I was using a Cheetah. Also, like I said, $800 is just too damn much. I would not pay $800 for a Cheetah. Up since 3:30, work till 5 p.m. You're wound up. I can get with that. That's fine. Not going to lie, the couch is faring well with all the guns being tossed at it. Yes, it's an expensive couch. I love when people that aren't familiar with the channel love to say, oh, look at how cheap your couch is. That's a $3,000 couch. So it's got a good material. It's got a good thread count. I have one spot on a cushion that I'm a little bit embarrassed about, so I'm going to shampoo it. But yeah, it is holding up to it. And I haven't thrown a Barrett 50 cal on it yet. I'm not going to do that. Thoughts on a Marlin 1895 SBL 4570? Oh, you want to know what I think? They're nice guns. $1,500 is too much for one, but they are nice. If they could find a way to sell them new for like 12 to 1,000, I think they'd be a much better gun. But at the high price that they're currently at, it's just too much for a 4570. There's other gun companies that manufacture 4570s for a better price. Those little Berettas are cool. Got the OGs, Tomcat, Bobcat, Jetfire, so cool. Yeah, the OGs are good because they were built before there was the internet. They were designed before there was the internet. The Cheetah is a reprise or refresh of a model that was existed before, but they have to make it modern. And then by making it modern, they make it expensive. Why is the 380 more than an M9A3 or an M9A4? Does that make any sense? No. Okay, we're throwing it a little bit farther. M9A1, so for those of you who don't know, that's the first version of the M9 that the US government used, versus SPO1, which is like my tactical, versus 226 Extreme. I've had the 226 single action. I have not had the Extreme. I've also had the 226 Elite. My buddy Jacob owns that now. That's tough. The M9 is out of the running between the SPO1 and the 226. Where it comes down to is between the 226 and the SPO1. Now, if you put a 226 Legion single action only in my hands, that's going to destroy the SPO1. Then you're talking TS Orange or Shadow 2 single action to the 226. Then they become comparable guns. But just there, I think I'd probably go with the 226 Extreme though. You've had cars cost less than $3,000. I got one for you. My first 4 years working at my car dealership, the first car dealership I worked at, I didn't keep a car long enough to change the oil. And I think I went through 51 cars in 3 years. It got to the point where I stopped doing paperwork. I just ran my dealer tag on a car that I liked, and then I would give them the money, and then I would just trade for another car. So yeah, I never did paperwork on a car after the first 2 or 3, and then I just put my dealer tags on cars. Because in Minnesota, you could drive anytime you wanted on a dealer tag. 'Cause we had dealer tags, and then we had in transit tags. In transit tags are what went on when you were driving to and from auctions. So what we did was, I would drive on a dealer tag. Also, I didn't have to pay insurance, and since it was Minnesota, there was no shitty property tax. Excuse me, I need a drink. Sediment? That ain't good. It's my cocaine, my MDMA settled to the bottom. No, this is just water with a 0 sugar drink mix. Insane Marlins are now 15. Yeah, exactly. 336 is a great gun, and I used to buy them from people for a few $100 and sell them for like $600. Now they're like $1,000. Because people are stupid. Yes, that's funny. I would trade cars in when it needed tires. My thing is even worse because I'm not going to snort it. But my thing was even worse because I would actually put the tires on, then sell them. At least recently, since 2017, I've had the Mustang, a white 2016 F-150 crew cab, a 2016 Chrysler 300 Hemi, a 2017 Ram Laramie, a Ford Fusion, a super low mileage Lexus ES350, and my current Dodge Durango, and I am looking for another just passenger car. Richard asks, any car you could own, money no option, what would it be? If I could own any car, money no option, it would probably be, and don't hate me for this, but I would think like, I really like the Ferrari 812 Superfast. I think that would be a great car to own. V12 front engine. It's a little bit of a shooting brake. It's more of just a hatchback. Beautiful looking car, super powerful, and in my opinion, probably one of the best looking cars they made in recent memory. DB would go with the Rolls-Royce Phantom. I have the transmission in my Durango. Same ZF transmission that the Phantom has. Actually, it's the same transmission that the Rolls-Royce Wraith has. SLS Benz, they got played out. Too many influencers bought SLSs and the AMGs that came after, because at $250,000, they were affordable for all these clowns that got their first big sponsors and their first big checks and decided to blow them on bullshit cars. That's why the Bentley Continental GT was so popular. When it first came out, it was a $150,000 car. Anybody could afford it. When the Ford GT in 2005 came out, they were 150 grand, and anybody could afford them. But a Ferrari 812 Superfast is like a $400,000 car, so not as many people can buy them. Also, Ferrari is a little bit pickier on who can own their cars. Who was that one dude who had to give up his Nan Cat 458 because Ferrari's a bunch of pussies who doesn't like their brand diluted? You left an inheritance. SLS Benz for Richard. He said it would be an S15 Silvia. S15s are legal, I'm pretty sure, because the S15 I believe started in 1998. So that would be an awesome car to own, and I believe you can bring them in now. I think. So let's see. It was built until 2002, blah, 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 240, S12. Oh no, I need to donate to Wikipedia. So let's see. Oh, 1999. You got one more year to wait. 2024, you can own an S15. You drove an SLS, it's a beast. Oh yeah, that drivetrain, I would love to take that drivetrain out and put it into like an old SL, like a 300 SL that had a blown engine, and throw that engine in there, that 6.3 engine. That would be amazing. You get a Pagani because they look insane. Yes, the Pagani is an insane car. Although the Wyro, they did away with the, is my boob sweating? They did away with the manual transmission, which I don't really like. Toyota Century. That is the Japanese car, right? Don't make me do this, kids. Why isn't he talking, Mama? It's because he's looking at Japanese cars. He's got a problem. Yep. Yes, he does. Let's see if they've gotten anything new. They still got that Aristo. They dropped it by $1,000. Oh. If I could get better financing on these older Japanese cars, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Oh. You'd have a 4-door Supra for 1/4 the price. Let's see. Evolution 4. That would work for you, Mr. Williams. They've got a 96 Evolution 4, 4G63, manual transmission, 95,000 kilometers, and it's in silver. It looks like it's got the BBS wheels on it. Oh, that's pretty. Yeah, go to Japanese Classics LLC real quick on Google. Yeah, it's got its original seats. Oh, there you go. 27 grand. Deadmau5. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Ferrari. Yes, it was a 458 that he put the blue and the cat and stuff on. Yes, 25 years you can import one. Absolutely. And then I need to hire a driver, and I only sit in cars while other people drive. No. Paganis are a car to be driven. Maybachs are a car to be driven in. Who did I steal that line for? An old Lambo would be cool. And then you say Murano. You mean the Merak? That's a Maserati. Ferraris are so uptight about their cars being modded. Not only that, they're really against selling new cars to anybody. You have to be chosen for any of their high tier cars, any of the F Series, the F90, the Stradale that came out. All those require that you be chosen by a Ferrari representative or a Ferrari dealer and recommended to Ferrari by them. I have a fan that's wired up into my computer that I can control because I'm getting a little need for air. There we go. Yay. C6 Vet. C6s were nice. The C7s were nice. I would like a ZR1. It's probably the only C7 that I liked was the ZR1s. Although I almost bought a Grand Sport C7. Lobster says, checking out that site basically makes me want to live in Initial D in real life. Absolutely. Wife owns an Evo 9, too expensive. Prefer a 6-bolt G60, 4G63. When I was working at Jerry's Ford, we had a couple of cars come in that I almost bought. Number one was a supercharged F-150 Harley. Didn't buy that. Almost bought a BMW M3 convertible with the manual. The clutch was bad. It was like 16 grand. I really wasn't feeling it. And this was the E46, so the older body style with the inline six still. Almost bought that one. And then I almost bought an Evo MR because I drove that and I wasted a dude in a GT2. Obviously, I don't think he realized what I was doing at the time. He tried catching up after we launched, but I just walked on the Porsche. It was pretty funny. Got to be an owner to buy one. If you buy an entry-level Corvette, or Ferrari, excuse me, if you buy an entry-level Ferrari, that gets you in the door. You can buy an entry-level Ferrari, but if you want anything above that, like if I wanted to buy an 812 Superfast, I have buddies that buy from Ferrari, so they could recommend me to buy a Ferrari if I had that kind of money, but I personally probably couldn't walk into the Maserati dealership that's over in Tyson's Corner and just buy an 812 Superfast. Number one, they're out of production, but number two, they probably wouldn't even want to talk to me. Let's see. Lobster. Ferrari has always been full of themselves. The whole reason Lambos got started was because Enzo had a spat. Yeah, pretty much. And that's the reason why the Ford GT exists. Ford tried to buy Ferrari, and Ferrari said, and Ford built the GT40. Quick, why is the GT40 called the GT40? And why is the new GT only called the GT? OG ZR1, my buddy had a Grand Sport, was nice, had the 03 F-150 Harley. Yeah, that's what I almost bought. It was like 11 grand if I wanted to buy it, and it was a crew cab. I don't know why I didn't buy it. Evo 9 MR, nice. What's your thought on the G4 semi-auto 12-gauge shotguns? They're decent. It's a Turkish gun, again, but they're decent. Break-in periods are very important with these semi-autos, especially the ones coming from Turkey. If you get the Rock Island, which is made by Daria Arms, it says right in the manual, you got to run high brass 100 Magnum loads just to break in the gun. One thing you can also do is lock the bolt back and just leave it for like a month, and that helps it, compress it a bit, but it doesn't fully compress it. But yeah, a lot of these Turkish guns, they require a break-in period, but if you last through the break-in period and you put up with malfunctions through the break-in period, then I've heard they're pretty reliable. David Shipside, it was 40 inches high. The new one is taller. Correct, but incomplete. The original GT40 is 40 inches high. That's why they called it that. The reintroduction of the GT was squashed because they wanted to call it the GT40. However, a shop had acquired the rights to the GT40 name. He was a specialist in rebuilding GT40s. He owned the name for GT40 because Ford had never planned on building another one. And when they went to do it, they went to this guy and they said, hey man, we'd like the name back. We'll pay you some money. I think they offered him like $1 million or $2 million for the name back. Not chump change, but I mean, he was building GT40, so he was building super expensive, $4 million cars. So he said, no, I want $90 million. He asked for $90 million for the name GT40. So Ford said, you know what? It's not 40 inches tall anymore. We're just going to call it the GT. And did that to the guy. Both sides screwed themselves because if the guy had taken the money, Ford would have had the GT40 name back. If they had paid probably a couple million more, they probably could have negotiated. But the minute the dude said 90 million from two, there was just no back and forth that was going to be possible. So Ford said, screw you, we'll just call it the Ford GT because the GT is the part of the name that's most notable. So, gotcha. Let's see. Jeffrey Buldua, thanks for the info, Joe. Got a gun question here. What would be the ideal way to carry while riding a motorcycle? That depends on where you're going because in some states you have to open carry and the gun has to be visible, so you'll have to wear either like a drop leg or a outside the waistband holster with retention. If you have a concealed carry and you're driving through states that have reciprocity, being that they'll honor whatever state your concealed carry is in, I would recommend a chest rig for motorcycles because it's right there. It's in front of you and you have ultimate control of it. I would not recommend a backpack setup. I would not recommend side setup. I would not recommend shoulder holsters. I would go with a chest rig, or if you have a concealed carry permit and you carry at the small of the back and you're comfortable doing that, you can do that. But most times you're going to expose your firearm to traffic if you do that, unless you're wearing like a super long jacket, which doesn't make sense on a motorcycle. So I would go with the chest rig just for driving purposes. Turkish has white, nice wood, yeah. You carry 3 o'clock outside the waistband. There you go. So on the bike. Yeah, so there you go. On your hip, so it's not behind you, it's not in front of you, because if you're leaning forward, depending on what kind of bike you ride, that could be very uncomfortable in the long term. So like he's saying, 3 o'clock outside the waistband. It will be the safest. You do have to check your state laws, though. I live in Virginia. I have reciprocity with West Virginia and North Carolina. Pennsylvania does not recognize my CCW. Maryland does not recognize my CCW. Delaware does not recognize my CCW, so I cannot carry in those states. You cannot open carry in those states. So if you're a motorcyclist, you have to unload the firearm, put it in a lockable container, and separate it from the ammo. So keep that in mind. Depending on where you're going, you may have to plan your trip to avoid these places. I could go up through West Virginia and avoid Pennsylvania, go up through other states if I needed to, or I would just take it out and put it in a safe, but not on a bike, unless you got bags. Yeah. I hate non-reciprocity. I was thinking about getting that Colorado non-resident CCW. All right. Lobster, dang, when you said super fast, I had to look it up and I totally forgot how good the Ferrari front engine two-door. Yep. Especially the super fast. Did you hear about Gaston Glock? Yeah, somebody at the beginning of the stream said that he died. I don't care. I hope they bury him in Tupperware. Should I Cajuanize my CZP-01? I would highly recommend it. The cost of sending it in is what you have to consider. If you can do all the work yourself, doing it yourself, you'll get a much better trigger pull and a lot better internal parts, although CZ makes good internal parts, but it would be like getting CZ custom shop work for less money. If you can afford the extra $400, I would just send it to Cajun Gun Works. It's like $400 on top of the package, and then you can get them to do the work for you, and the work is guaranteed. I'm realizing that in Tactical, the guy that did the work hap-shottedly fuckeried, and I've had to send it twice to redo the work he did. He did not install the trigger spring correctly, so after a few hundred rounds, it had actually walked its way out, so the gun was going past battery, which I didn't even know was possible, but it was going past battery. I would actually have to push the slide backwards to get it to re-engage kill action. Weird as shit, but yeah, that did happen. Dave, what's the difference on a 226 Mark 25 versus the Scorpion versus the Extreme? The 226 Mark 25 is a sort of special gun. It was designed as the SOCOM sidearm. It's also the only 226 that has a true pick rail on it. If you look at most 226s, the rail is actually curved. So it uses a proprietary rail, kind of like the way Glock does. You can put pick rail items on it, but the 226 Mark 25 is designed to be compatible with all Picatinny rail accessories. The Extreme, I don't know 100% what the differences are. Match grade barrels, all that stuff. The Scorpion, well, the Scorpion's a different beast. Scorpion was always designed with a little bit of a performance bent to it versus the Mark 25, which was designed as a straight duty firearm, and the Extreme is more of a performance gun as well. Fictional state lines and laws. Yep, well, you know, unfortunately, because of the internet, unless we actually do it the right way and actually have lobbyists in our corner that are willing to help push through laws through these congressmen and senators that have free thinking, yet they listen to lobbyists and they listen to their party, it's never going to happen. We have to, unfortunately, rely on Supreme Court and Congress eventually getting their heads out of their asses, like they did with the Brace injunction, which will eventually become an overturn of the law that the ATF instituted. And again, I'm not saying that I violate any laws, but it wasn't a law to begin with. It was an unlawful law. Hold on. Why is the audio cutting up? Hello? Hello? Okay, seems fine now. Sorry. I won't move at all. I'll just... This is really good to see you. I'm trying to read these. I don't want to move. Just don't move. I don't know. Maybe somebody's trying to reach out to me. I thought I had Do Not Disturb on. I noticed that around an hour every now and then this keeps on kicking the live stream. I'm going to keep this on my head. It's a little disconcerting to listen to myself on a 9-second delay, but that's fine. Also, I think I have an extended delay because of firearms. Echo! See, that's how long the delay was. So I think there's somebody actually monitoring this video. Lobster, on a motorcycle, be a boss and carry a marriage leg in a saddle holster. That would be interesting. Oh, I hate those because it's a rifle with a short barrel, but it's technically a pistol. So it would be legal. What I mean is, I think they have a algorithm or something that watches the video to make sure that I'm not doing something in direct violation. As if I were to pick up a pew pew, hold it in front of you, maybe that might freak them the fuck out. How often do I shoot? I try to shoot every week. I have my physical disabilities, but also I don't want to drive to another range. I made an arrangement with Middletown Firearms. They're in Middletown, Virginia. Look them up. To use their range on Tuesdays. So I have Tuesdays. I can go out there because the range is closed. I go out there in the morning. I do my shooting. I do some videos. I've got 30 terabytes on this drive that I need to go through and scrub all the footage. But the other place I'm a member of is an hour from here, and I usually go with Daniel, but Daniel had a kid last year, so it's been a little less frequent being able to go to that range. But when the weather warms up again, I'll probably use both ranges. Gotta hit him. Jeffrey, thanks for coming and watching this, and appreciate it. Thank you so much. Rebecca, I really enjoy your vids. Helps keep me informed. No problem. And again, if there's something you want to know, just put it in the comments. Next, you're going to say we all on a list or something. You are. There's a whole list right on the screen. There's a list of you all. And then the ATF is sitting there going, well, that guy types fun. We're going to watch him. I get paid to ruin people's lives. So let's see. My stepdad just got a 226 DAK. He's thinking about converting it to a regular P226. Save your parts. The only thing I would recommend, I've had a few of those guns come in that have been converted. My 75 SP01 was converted from decocker to just a straight safety, which is how I prefer it. I prefer to carry cocked and locked. I don't like to decock a pistol, but I don't have the original decocker. So if I were to sell it, I don't have the original recoil spring. I don't have the original firing pin. I don't have any of the original part. I don't have the original trigger, nothing. So I would have to buy a bunch of parts to return it to stock unless I want to try to make money off the gun. Ocean Dude, I'm going to get nosy. What medical thing happened to you years ago? Well, I've explained it before, and there is a video that you can watch where I talk about what actually happened. But my medical issues, it's partially genetic, partially me at one point was a massive fat ass. And a big part of it is due to the chronic pain that I suffer now. But when I was 18, I was 5'8". I'm 6'4". So I was 5'8" when I was 18. I went from 5'8" to 6'4". I went from 160 pounds to 300 pounds in 6 months. And instead of going, I went, and I got very tall. You can actually see a lot of stretch marks. Actually, it's hard to get them. It's harder with the tattoos now, but you can see I got a lot of stretch marks on my arms. Yeah, I lost a lot of weight eventually. Actually got diabetes after I lost all the weight, so that was fun. But I've also suffered from cluster headaches since I was 18. Cluster headaches, for those of you that don't know, it's not really like what it sounds. When you hear cluster, you think they're all at once. It's not. It's continual headaches with ebbing and flowing, easing and intensification of the headache. I have the worst version, which 0.000025% of people that have this condition actually suffer from, which means of the 1 out of every 10,000 people that suffers from cluster headaches, I'm one of the 22 people that suffers from the intense version, where this bottle of Excedrin, which is a 300 capsule bottle, will last me 10 days, maybe. So yes, I have the worst headaches you can get, widely accepted by those who believe that cluster headaches are real as the worst intense pain you can suffer from. But I also have a degenerative nerve damage, which causes me to always be in pain. When I'm sitting, I'm always feeling every muscle in my body flex, tense, and release all at once, and it's really annoying. I have 2 slip discs in my neck from years of working at a computer, and that has been exacerbated over the years. So put all of that together, either I can't feel my hands or they feel like they're broken. Also, I have the boxer's break in this hand. You can see right there. Those bones are not straight. So you can see my how short my pinky is compared to my hand when you look at a normal hand. So that's always in pain too. Let's see. My internet is named ATF Van 1. No. You have to change it to DEA. That way the ATF will actually wonder what's going on. If they see ATF Van 1, then they're going to know it's a fake one. Change it to DEA or NSA. Good show. Sorry, flexing. He's skinny. You know what the funny thing is? And I keep saying this because I watch Reacher with my buddy, Daniel. Alan Ritchson is 6'2", 6'3". I'm taller than him. We weigh the same, yet I look skinny as a rail compared to Alan Ritchson. Like he's just... So, yeah, that's pretty much shows you the difference between muscle and weight. It's not ibuprofen. Ibuprofen doesn't have acetaminophen. I get tested every 6 months. The last few years from 2017 to 2019, I got tested every 3 months. But this is the only thing that does anything. The amount of caffeine plus acetaminophen combined to actually work on the headaches. And no, it's not a caffeine addiction. I've completely titrated off of it before, and the headaches were so bad that I spent a week in bed. So it's not caffeine, it's the headaches. But no, my liver function is perfect. You see those kids that take 2 and they wind up in the hospital for a month because they nearly die. I take 3,000 milligrams at a time, 3 grams of acetaminophen, and nothing. Don't be sorry, Ocean. It's what makes me who I am. It's why I got serious about YouTube. At least you got the Vulcan greeting down pat. Live long and prosper. Yeah. I've always been able to do it, but yeah, after you break your hand right there, these 2 bones, and they kind of set the wrong way, yeah, you can see. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's obscene. But yeah, I can't. People that are just tuning in are like, what the frick is this guy doing with his hand? But yeah, so yeah, I have that going. Yeah, ibuprofen hits the kidneys and stomach. Acetaminophen hits the liver. Yep. Snort it. I've done that. I once was in so much pain and I was working that I actually ate an entire bottle of 24 pills in one shot, and the desiccant that was inside of it, and nothing. Barely took the edge off. This is something I like to do to freak people out, where I'll just work for a couple of hours with my hands like that. Yeah. Oh, we are lobster people. Yeah, the people that just tuned out. Let's see. Yeah, I'm no doctor, but you get the drift. Yeah, absolutely I do. I get checked regularly. My blood work is done 5 times a year, 6 times a year. My doctor checks it routinely. I take 16 pills twice a day, not just my metformin, but Imitrex, which does nothing, atenolol, atoravastin, hydrochlor, something or other, not that stuff that Trump said to eat, and a bunch of other pills just to try to keep my blood pressure, my heart, all this stuff. Because even though I take all that, my blood pressure is usually around 150 over 95, 105. So yeah, I'm also hypertensive on top of all of that. Imagine being in constant pain makes your blood pressure higher. Weird. Lobster, damn, I had a deep bruise in the interserosus tissue in my hand between the fingers from boxing, and it hurt for a solid 3 months. So freaking annoying. Can't imagine how much that hurt for you. And the free candy inside. Any new guns you'd like to review? I got to talk to the guy that ordered a platypus in, because I've actually gotten my hands on some super expensive guns and done some reviews, but that was years ago, so they're not relevant anymore. So I need to get back in touch with some of these guys. I actually was playing with the Lagos Alien when they first came out, $4,500 gun. This guy bought 2 of them because he wanted one to shoot and one to display. I would like to do like an in-depth with the platypus. My buddy bought one, and I need to talk him into letting me borrow it. I did his paperwork for a suppressor, so maybe he owes me one. Unless he gets denied, and then oops. But the platypus, I'm going to do a full review on the Girsan. I want to do one on the FN high power, even though I've already done one. It's called the FNX9, which is the exact same gun, but I need to do a video on that one, and I want to pick up the P35 competition OPS with the optics cut from Girsan. So I need to look at those. Lobster for migraine. Some people find soaking their feet in hot water helps because it causes vasodilation in the legs and pulls blood away from the brain. I'm a double amputee, man. Just saying. Yeah, I've been dealing with these headaches for 27 years, man. I've tried literally everything you're suggesting. I've tried soaking, vibrations, acupuncture. I've had surgeries. We've lengthened both of, just trying to thinking that blood flow is an issue. I've done everything. I've had the Imitrex shots. I've done the nasal spray. I've done gabapentin. I've done pretty much anything you can think of. Nothing works because again, I have the non-responsive. If you watch a lot of my videos, I tell you a lot of this. So when I expose dump in one video, please understand I'm not. It sounds like I'm talking like I have a lot of problems. I have a lot of problems, but I deal with them. I'm non-reactive to opioids, which means oxycodone, codeine, Percocets. Non-reactive. None of it works. Dilaudid works for about 10 minutes. I'm allergic to antibiotics. I can stomach like a broad spectrum like doxycycline, but I still throw up. I can't do like the MRSA killing stuff, vancomycin and Zosyn. I had a PICC line at one point. I don't know if the scar's still there. Anyways, they had to put a PICC line into my heart, and the fourth time I had vancomycin, I developed such a bad allergy to it that I literally lost 19 pounds in 4 days because I couldn't eat and I threw up every 5 minutes. So unfortunately, my body, if it doesn't like something, develops an allergy to it. It's not just like, ew, that hurts. No, it's like, fuck you, you can't have this at all. And that's how my body reacts. So yeah, 20 some years of dealing with this, there's no answer. It's just something I'm going to deal with till I die. That's why in 2017, what happened, because I was tired of people telling me the same thing over and over and over and over. So yeah, no, I just learned how to deal with it. I was eating perks and bars like Tic Tacs back in 05, almost lost a leg. Yep, you were talking about that. That sucks. It sucks that you went through that and sucks that you had to pop that much meds. It sucked for me because I could take like 10, 20 milligram oxy. I actually wore a fentanyl patch and it literally did nothing for pain. Fentanyl. I'm non-reactive to fentanyl. Others have had good effects soaking their head in ice water at the onset of migraines to cause blood vessels in the head to constrict. Yep, tried it. I had a cooling thing that was custom, hospital approved, and it would like freeze my head. No. This is idiosyncratic. That's why there's actually a small cadre of doctors. I believe they're flat earth doctors, but there's a small cadre of doctors that have written peer-reviewed papers that somehow got published saying that cluster headaches don't exist. I'd love to fight you because I've had fMRIs while I was in the middle of it and my whole brain is lit up. Functional MRI, for those of you that don't know, it's where they actually can do an MRI that sees the electricity in your brain. And when I'm in the middle of a cluster headache, I look like a 90-watt bulb that's been overpowered. Dude, the feet stuff works, at least for me. Yeah. Ocean Dude, what's your thought on 9mm 1911 versus the 45 ACP 1911? I've recently bought a lot of 9mm 1911s. They have their place, okay? If you're into competition style and you want a shorter one, 9mm is a much better version of a 1911 than a 45. The 4.25 has a better cyclic rate. It's just a better gun, higher capacity, all those benefits of 9mm, especially if you want to go with the smaller frame. I prefer 45 for my 5-inch government guns. However, 3 of the ones I recently bought were all 9mm, but I did pick up the Para Ordnance double stack in 45. I prefer the 45 in 1911, but I appreciate the 9mm as well. We can all agree that 10mm is. Anyway, soak them nubs. Now then they get all wrinkly and they look like fingers, and I try to unlock my phone with the stump. Doesn't go well. I have no feet. I have parts of my feet. Going back to the whole antibiotics don't work. Well, when you get an infection, it's hard for blood flow to go to your extremities. and because antibodies and everything, they might not make it all the way to the extremities. I got bone infections from walking on a wound that I had gotten, and I felt it, so it's not diabetic bullshit. Don't type that. But the bone got infected, and because they couldn't give me the antibiotics to kill the infection, because those would have killed me, they cut the feet off. The damn spot. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm curious too. Wait for the internet to be sensitive. Yo, you ain't got legs? No, I'm just. It was a joke. It was a joke, damn spot. He was telling me to soak my feet, and I had said earlier in the stream that I don't have feet, that I'm a double amputee. He wasn't here for it. Don't give him crap. It was a joke. Let's see, 32 ACP Beretta or the 22 LR Ruger. I'm gonna go with 22 LR Ruger. The 32 is fine. I'm not a fan of 32 ACP. I think it's just a round. 22 at least has more manufacturing of different variants. Also, the 22 LR Ruger, if you get a Mark IV 45 Light, 22 45 Light, it's a beautiful shooting pistol. Right. Idiosyncratic means they don't know what's causing it. It's their way of saying. But yeah, it's considered an idiosyncratic disease. Cluster headaches have no known cause, no known cure, no real treatment. So yes, idiosyncratic. There we go. Gotta keep the play button in the screen. Yeah, flat earth duck. Sorry, man. It's my brain goes places. No freaking clue. In quotes. Yeah. It's great. You see a doctor walk into your room, you're in bed there, you can't have the lights on because it makes you want to, punch people, and the doctor goes, and you have to deal with that for the rest of your life. So yeah. Also, I have a medical file that's over 1,200 pages just related to my headaches. So we've been trying everything. Damn, they ran the gamut of tests on you? Yeah, everything. CT, MRI, every blood test you can think of. They've done, like I said, I did acupuncture. My insurance made me go to a chiropractor. Everything that you can think of. Never. I should be 2 inches taller if it wasn't for my compressed neck, by the way. Also, I got a lump here. Foot reveal, foot reveal, foot reveal. Super chat. I'm going to OnlyFans this shit. You want to see the foot? You pay for it, son. Oh shit, my buddy had to get a bone spur in his foot ground out. Yeah, that actually happened. It actually made one of my amputations worse because they took the part of the foot and the bone grew down and caused another wound, which caused another infection in my foot. 32 ruled the world before 9mm back in the day. Yes, it did. It was the #1 pocket carry. I think John Dillinger's pocket carry, because that's pocket carry. Pocket carry was a 32. The damn spot. I'm on the fence about the M&P FPC 9mm. What are your thoughts about it? Just something about it bugs me. Smith & Wesson is on a kick where they're trying to be Kel-Tec. And actually, TFB TV did a great thing about it in his Overrated Guns of 2023 thing where he compares them. And I have a video coming out on the CP33, but Smith & Wesson is trying to be Kel-Tec. They're taking their guns. If you take the entire body off of the FPC, it's basically a sub 2K that folds sideways versus over itself. And what they're doing is not good because Kel-Tec comes in at a lower price point for what it is. Excuse me. And it's actually a better gun, in my opinion, than the FPC. The FPC feels too cheap, in my opinion. The rear of the buttstock where the mags go, if you fill the mags and insert them in the buttstock, makes the gun so tail heavy that when you fire it, unless you're actively holding it, yeah, let's chicken wing, but unless you're actively holding the firearm on target, and with like a really good shoulder hold, you can actually get the rear of the gun will wobble out of your way. So yeah, I don't care for it. Also, it broke my suppressor. My old former coworker broke my suppressor, but the FPC is why my suppressor broke, so I don't like the FPC. Internet feet pics. No. A buddy of mine wanted to put my feet on only feet. Is it still idiosyncratic if the headache started after putting a piece of metal on your finger? If you got a headache from putting a piece of metal on your finger, That is bizarre, but that sounds neurological. Something in your wiring got fucked up, so probably not. Here's the way you can test that. Cut your hand off. The Jiminy Show is making a joke. He does not endorse cutting your hand off for the purposes of testing whether or not you have this problem. But cut your hand off and see if it still hurts. I should have another 2 inches also. Spoken like a true Asian. How do you like being self-employed since you left your buddy's gun shop? I make a lot more money, but I'm a lot more bored. Because I actually did the self-employed thing before. Me and Daniel actually were partners in a reselling business. I'm not going to show you over there because it's a mess. But I actually have like $1,000 worth of crap I got to list still. But I did more in sales and profit in the 3 months since I left than I did in the 7 or 8 months I was working for him and taking a paycheck. So, and I do it in 2 hours a day. So I take all these pictures, right? For example, if I can find it, where'd I put it? What the fruck? Yes, he said, what the fruck? I'm not grabbing a handgun. I refuse. Okay, so I bought a Pikachu Edition Game Boy Advance. I'll list it. It'll take me 5 minutes to take the pictures and put it up. I'll make $100 on it. I'll have to go unpack it. It'll take me 20 minutes. My office is 10 minutes from here. So in a 40-minute period, I'll make $100. And if I do that every day, you're talking 20 days a month, because there are days I don't go in. I don't go in Saturdays. I don't go Sundays. I barely go on Fridays. But I can make $100 a day, 20 days a month, a couple of grand, my Social Security, the YouTube money. Thank you guys, by the way. The YouTube money all combines to make a lot more than I was making. And that number is just an estimation. There have been days where, because I'll tell you right now, I made 13 grand in 3 months versus 17 grand in 9 months. So help me to help me. Jason, what is happening? Not as much. Was ist los? Nichts ist los. Also, that spur messed him up 8 months. Yep, there you go. Yeah, that was another reason I left the store. I was working for him. I was helping him. I wasn't agreeing with the way the business was being run. And because of the constant walking on a stump, it caused a wound. Something that happens. When you take a foot that's supposed to be this long and you walk on that much of it, it can cause issues. So, yeah, and I was still working through it. So, again, now I can work for an hour or two a day, put my feet up, bandage it, and hope it heals. Pass on the FPC. Snip each digit on your finger one at a... No. I had a doctor, which he's the biggest piece of shit that I'd ever dealt with. I got the hospital staff involved, and actually this guy has a reputation. He's not there anymore. He was like 60 years old. He was working in the emergency department because no specialization would allow him to run a department. I'd come in, and he knew that I was, basically what I am is I'm pre-diabetic. My blood sugars with diet are controlled enough, but that actually helps keep it down into the 90s. I'm in the 90s for my blood sugar. Totally fine. But anyways, this motherfather always insisted that it was diabetic related. Always insisted that he knew exactly what was wrong with me. As you age, you become a bigger and bigger freak. So I started developing lipomas. I don't know if you want to know what a lipoma is. It's just a fatty tissue deposit that can grow randomly. I wanted him to look at it. I'm freaking out. I'm like, dude, I got this nodule underneath my arm now, and it's tight. Maybe you should take a look at it. Oh, no, I've seen those before. I'm like, motherfucker. And the last time I had to go to the emergency room, I actually had to stop 4 times and vomit because my headache was so bad. I get to the emergency room. He walks in. I called him an asshole and left because, yeah, he works at some other hospital now. Yeah, he's like a Civil War surgeon. Like, he walked into a room at the wound clinic because he was helping out there. Some little old lady had a thing on the back of her ankle, and the motherfucker just cut it off without even looking at the lady's chart. She was screaming for like 10 minutes. So, yeah. What were we talking about? You're going to hear walking above me. I share a house with my family. It's the cheapest way to live. So, yeah. That YouTube money better be worth it for them feet pics. No, 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 Hergel. You want to see my feet pics? You super chat right now. There's a dollar bill sign somewhere on there. You pay me money and I show you foot, 1 foot, 1 foot, $10, $1, 10 second, $10 1 second. Foot. Yeah, to all you people that walk in late on these streams. Sorry, not sorry. Let's see. You got a company car and a Christmas bonus. Woohoo! And a company gas card. Can you do me a favor, like private chat me later? I need to know the 16 digits on the front, the security on the back, and the zip code. What games do you play on that beautiful beast back there? Not that many. I have a lot of them, but I'll bring up the list. Show you. I can show you that. So let's see. Yeah, this is a screen that I use, so I can actually look at both of them. Recently, I've been playing Starfield. You can say what you want. If you go into it right and thinking it's just Fallout 4 in space, it's an enjoyable time. I've been playing Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. A lot of VR because I use the Quest 2. So I've been playing a lot of Half-Life Alyx. I finally bought it just because I've been putting it off. That guy came out with those rescue missions for VR, so I've been playing that. So Half-Life Alyx. I liked Marvel's Avengers. Say what you want. I thought it was actually a decent storyline. A game called Cars for Sale 2023. It's not that fleshed out yet. A lot of Need for Speeds, although I deleted a bunch of them. Yeah. Got that for $18. It's a 15.6-inch USB-C powered monitor, and it fills my case. Space Daddy Cereal, your opinion of best pistol that came out this year and the worst. The best pistol that came out this year, technically it was announced 4 years ago and I owned it, was the DWX. It was officially launched in 2023. The worst gun that came out this year is the FN High Power. DWX first. Dan Wesson and DWX and CZ collaborated back in 2019. That was when it was first showed. They didn't change a thing, but COVID happened, supplies, all this stuff. They finally released the DWX. The DWX is a CZ Shadow 2 based frame. It's slightly different. The backstrap is different, with a removable fire control group out of a 1911. Gotta go. 3:30 shows up fast. Sorry, DB, you gotta go. And it has a full 1911 top on top of the CZ frame. It's a $2,000 gun. When it first came out, it was so unobtainium that it was like a $3,500 gun. Beautiful shooting pistol. If you can get one for MSRP of $1,800, it's definitely worth it because it competes with a Shadow 2 Orange, in my opinion. But yeah, that was the best gun of 2023. The worst gun by far was the FN High Power. FN took the High Power name, rebodied their FNX9, which I've done a video on. I recently bought one and sold it again. But they put a high power body around the FNX9 platform and sold it as the High Power. No interchangeability, has a breech lockup system. The safety does not engage the slide because it's based on the FNX style. The trigger sucks. It's ambi controls, so you have to disassemble it. It's more complicated. It's literally an FNX9 in a high power body. Total waste of money. Don't buy one. Buy a Girsan Girsan MC P35, and you'll get a much more accurate representation of the High Power. You're a fatty deposit. The damn spot. I love how Jiminy is completely fearless about sharing the most intimate health problems imaginable. Meanwhile, I hide my decrepitness. It's not bravery. It's medical. And honestly, if you hide stuff like that, things that could have potentially be found out. There are no pictures of me in shorts since 2012 when I first started having leg problems and back problems. And there's no pictures of me now other than the internet. But no, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to talk about when I almost died. It's something that happened to me. And if it helps anybody else out there, great. One of the biggest things I was a proponent for in 2017 after I almost died was take control of your medical health. You have a right to a say in your medical treatment. If you feel something isn't working, speak up. Because again, took 1,200 pages of documentation, 1,200 pages, 2 full reams of copy paper to get my disability finally approved. So take control of your health care and don't be afraid to be honest about it. I mean, if you have a wart on your left testy, shit happens. But, just don't show me. Let's see. He says foot because you can only round up from. Hey, you know what? I'm in Virginia. Okay? I can still count to 13. Jim gonna start an OnlyFans account. Maybe. Ocean Dude, get a High Point Yeet Cannon. I had the 10 mil. I had the JXP 10. I do need to buy a 9 because I want to shoot it suppressed with some 154 grain and see what happens. But yeah, I did have the 10 millimeter version because that came out first. And I almost bought the 9 millimeter, but I quit my job right when I was supposed to buy it. None of your damn business. I'm so happy you got the Gerson 2011. Thank you. But thanks to Staccato, it's at 2311. Staccato, you're stupid. Thoughts on the Beretta APX A1 Compact Tactical? Like it. Had one. I'm a full-size gun guy, but I respect the A1 Tactical. I respect the A1 redesign. I don't respect the way the APX comes apart because it's fiddly as fuck. I said fuck, so it's fiddly as fuck. It doesn't come apart right, so sorry if I'm cussing a little bit. What are you going to do, YouTube? Yell at me? Let's see. Thoughts on the Gerson P35? Richard, I've had one. I have a Belgian high power, real Belgian high power. I was able to take every part that was easily removable from the high power and put it on the Gerson. Slide, recoil spring, barrel, trigger, magazines are fully interchangeable, the safety, the slide lock, everything is interchangeable. The Springfield SA35, the slide does not interchange. Automatically done. Barrel does not interchange. So the 35 is the most accurate high power clone because it probably literally had a real high power, probably an FM high power, not the FM, but they probably had one of those and they literally copied it. And then they came out with the OPS later, the ops version with the rail and all that stuff, which is amazing because they eliminate the magazine disconnect, which is the only thing SA or Springfield Armory did right with their 35. Rapid fire, I love it. Rock Island makes some great 1911 variants. Also, Space Daddy, you are correct. Rock Island makes more 1911 variants than any other manufacturer in the world, and they make them based on everybody's design. The Warthog, the P14, the Warthog is the 3.1 inch barrel version, by the way, which is my most viewed video here in long form. But yeah, I love my TAC 2 Ultras because you get a full rail. It's kind of like a CQB version of a gun. I love their guns. I've never had a problem personally with their customer service or their guns. You guys might have had different experiences in the past. Instead of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's the Cleft Foot of Langley. Hergel, when I still had toes, it kept getting worse and worse. I have two sponsored 3-toed sloths that were given to me as a gift because of amputations. I used to call I said if I ever started a band, it would be the Jiminy Show and 8-Toed Joe and the Bubble Bath of Hope. No. I called my boss the day I had the amputation and said, hey, good news is I'm still 6'4". Bad news is I'm a half foot shorter. Ghost Shura, sir, both my Springfield Garrison won't go into battery after last round. What do you mean won't go into battery? So you fire the last round, it ejects the empty shell, and then it won't go into battery, or it just won't take the last round into battery? Let me know, because either way, that sounds like a mag issue. But it could also be the plate that holds your firing pin in might be moving, but I'm thinking it's going to be more than likely a mag issue. That damn spot. I have a Prodigy dual stack. I've been playing with Nintendo's dual screen. I have a Prodigy dual screen. It's fun. I use this and then the pure. I have a Prodigy double stack that has caused me to stop shooting all my other pistols. It's so much better, but it also has a lot of problems. Is it worth the 2K you're thinking of putting into it? It's worth investing into. I don't think you're going to have to spend that much. I would recommend going to 10-8 Performance Labs. I think it's .com. This dude is an amazing shooter. He checks out all the 1911s that come down the line. He developed his own kit. I don't know if it's still available, but it eliminated all the metal injected molded parts. So all the MIM parts are gone. So it's like $500 for the kit, and then you're going to have to get a gunsmith, unless you do your own gunsmithing, and then you can do it at home. So I would look into that. 10-8 Performance Lab, Prodigy. I think it's a it's a full replacement kit, and you'll have a great gun. Turkish Arms Industry is pretty dang good. Yeah, I mean they run under ISO certification standards. It's a government-owned facility, so their money investment is higher. They are a decent manufacturer of firearms. That being said, they're like the European and the Slavic market in that they don't give a shit about trademark or patents. They want to build a gun, they build a gun. They don't care. Although, to their credit, the high power, the 1911s they've been copying, all the guns they've been copying are guns that are out of actual patent, but yeah, they don't care. They don't ask for permission. Like, they copy a new design. If Springfield had patented the Emissary or trademarked the Emissary's look, we wouldn't have the TSOS version of it. There wouldn't be a Raider if Colt could have trademarked the M45A1. So you see, they don't care. They just see something cool. They're like, oh, they'll make a Nintendo stand because people want them, but it'll say Nintendo instead, because they're almost like China but more expensive. Gotta run, have fun. Thank you, David. Thank you for coming and checking it out. Let's see. Sell them and get a never had a problem with either brand. What are we talking about? Richard, do you think TSOS builds a better 1911 versus Rock Island Armory? No. Out of the box, I think the Rock Islands are the better guns. You get more features out of the TSOS guns, but I think the Rock Islands are more reliable out of the box. If you take a Rock Island and a TSOS 1911, just pop the tops off, throw some lube in them, I guarantee you're going to get more misfeeds and stovepipes out of the TSOS than you will out of the Rock Island. And that's personal experience. I've had both and a number of each, and I've always had more break-in problems with the TSOS. They try for a tighter fit on the gun, and 1911s are like AKs. Rattle means reliable. In fact, that Girsan that I'm working with right now, the 2311, is so tight, I'm anticipating it's going to have misfeeds because it's so hard to pull, it's so oversprung, it's going to be an issue. But I'm going to shoot it stock first, and then I'll make my upgrades. Okay, Ocean Dude, I was given a beautiful Colt 1908 and 380. What's your thought on pre-Colt? Oh, I love them. I had in my safe, I've got a 1903 pocket hammerless. I wish I could get like some of like your 1908 or 1907. The 1911 was the epitome of functional design for that kind of design of the gun, because that gun was around longer, but they whittled it down to the 1911. I do believe that a lot of semi-autos from that time have a lot of pluses. But yeah, I have a 03 pocket hammerless that I love. How many toes do you have that aren't attached to your body? Hold on, I'll go check. Oh, wait. I don't have a body in my closet. Hergel, disappearing. Thanks for the jokes. You're welcome, dude. Really wanting the Shadow 2 compact, but might settle for a GCWP01. The Shadow 2 compact is nice, and it's actually replacing the SPO1, the small frame one. I would get an SPO1. I think the Shadows are overpriced. Get an SPO1. Thoughts on stars? They're really far away. Ghost, I used Mekgar mags and Wilson Combat mags, still have the problem, so the slide doesn't go back to show it's empty. Okay, that's I'm trying to understand. I'm guessing there's a language thing here. So in this comment, Ghost, you're saying that the slide doesn't go back to show it's empty after shooting. That is an issue with your slide lock. Either the way it interfaces, it could also be your swinging link. I've had a gun do this. I've had one where it'll lock open because of swinging link. Somebody would replace the barrel and the swinging link wasn't quite right, so it would fire one round and then it wouldn't fire the next. Your slide lock, slide release, I don't have one loose here, but when it's in the frame, there's a notch on the slide lock, slide release that interfaces with the slide. If it's worn down, the gun can just, it'll go, because it's the magazine follower that pushes up on your slide lock, so that's why it goes up, but internally there's a hump that it rides over before it goes up. So if that is not engaging correctly, it won't lock back. That is, I would try a different slide lock first and then take it to gunsmith afterwards. That's a dope water block. Are you talking about the reservoir or the actual? Oh, you can't see the other one, so you're obviously talking about the water block. That is a Corsair X7, whatever. I got that on sale. That is actually not for this case. This is for a fractal design case. It's a pump res combo from EK, and it's designed to go into a fractal design case. But my philosophy when it comes to building computers is yeet. China with better QC. Yes. Space Daddy, your thoughts on Walther's PD380? Seems like 380 is making a comeback. If you get a 95 grain 380, you can actually get a decent self-defense gun. Like a 95 grain hollow point could be a potentially viable self-defense round. 30 Super Carry was supposed to supplant it, but yeah, it was overhyped. But the PD380, I don't have much time with, but it seems like a decent gun. Yeah, the TSOS comes with titanium firing pin from the factory. It also has no MIM parts. We talked about this last time. It's the only 1911 under $1,000 that only has all billet parts in it. The titanium firing pin's awesome because I usually change mine out for Wilson Combat bulletproof stuff. Absolutely. Where are we at here? Did I miss anything? It's hard because sometimes you guys just like throw 10 questions at once and I don't see them. Ocean Dude, you have to work at 5:30 in the morning. Have a good night and Happy New Year. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's why I'm doing these a little bit earlier too. I used to do these at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, but now I'm going to be doing these at 7 o'clock. That way it gives everybody a little bit of time. I know it's a little early for the West Coast, but yeah, if I waited till 10 so people could be at 7, it'd still be too late. So thank you. But thoughts on the Metaba 2000? I'm sorry, the thingy here is in my way. 2006 M from Ghost in the Shell. You're gonna hate me. I've never seen Ghost in the Shell. So Ghost in the Shell Metaba. This is high quality live streaming stuff. That looks like a Chiappa Rhino to me. And it functions like, you know what? I'm pretty sure that this is what isn't the Chiappa Rhino based on it? Yeah, it functions just like a Chiappa Rhino. The barrel is on the bottom of the cylinder, not on the top. The Chiappa Rhino, the 90DS, the 90, all those do the exact same thing. But if memory serves, I'm thinking Metaba, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but Metaba, whatever. I believe they were bought by Chiappa. Actually, let me go to Wikipedia and see what they say. Yeah, see, they went out of production in 2005. I'm trying to see if, yeah. Okay, doing a little bit of quick Wikipedia searching. You can do this too if you ever have a question about stuff. But the Metaba from Ghost in the Shell was designed by the same guy that designed the Rhino. So the guy basically copy pasted the Rhino, which is why I hate Chiappa. They're just a bunch of bullshit. They just buy names and resell them. Their guns suck. Let's see. The Damn Spot. Thanks for a fantastic year of reviews. Believe it or not, you've helped me get through some real awful days and nights. Keep it up, and I hope you get filthy rich. Thank you, Damn Spot. I appreciate that. I make these for me, but I hope that they do help people. That's another big difference. I hope that I get across in my videos is that when I look at something, I don't look at it from this is what I think of the manufacturer. I don't look at it as this is what I think of the metallurgy, the minuscule differences in the guns. I look at them as if I was the idiot buying them. And a lot of the times I'm the idiot buying them. So I hope that my decision to buy something helps influence you, or my warning you off. Yes, I have an inordinate amount of distrust for Chiappa, but that's just because their business practices are super horrible. It's the same reason I don't buy Apple products. But yeah, I try to be as honest as I can. I'm not as good a shot as Honest Outlaw, and I don't get the time because I don't own property that has a shooting range on it. I wish I had some property with a range on it, and then I could shoot every freaking day for you guys. But yeah, appreciate that. Thank you, Spot. Ghost in the Shell anime movie is good. Please check it out. I've been meaning to. I'll be honest, I kind of skimmed through the Scarlett Johansson one. Boy, she likes whitewashing other cultures, doesn't she? Yeah, it's a real gun. Both have underbarrels. They look so freaking cool. Oh, I didn't disagree on that one. I just like that look. Yes, it's because they're designed by the same guy. I looked it up. Emilio, what's his name? So yeah, that is why. None of your damn business. What are the most important things that you would recommend replacing on a 1911 to help with reliability and function? What I do with all my Turkish and the Philippines built ones, Rock Islands are built in the Philippines. Number one, I check them for functionality in terms of like slide smoothness. That's the first thing I always check, because the coatings that the Turkish guns and the Rock Island guns come with, the parkerization, number one, just comes off. The Turkish guns, it's too thick. So I will check the frame to slide fit. If it's too thick, I will actually remove material, all the Cerakoting or Duracoating or parkerization. I'll take it all off the internal frames, the rails and the slide, in order to make it smoother. I replace the magazines immediately. Rock Island has gone to ACT mags, which are mildly better than just pooping into the gun. So I run Wilson Combat and Chip McCormick mags. That seems to eliminate most of the problems. In terms of safeties and stuff like that, on a Rock Island 1911, their safeties are too long and too sharp, so I usually round off the edge of a safety on the 1911s from Rock Island. You don't have to change springs right away unless the gun is acting funky. You don't have to mess with your triggers, although if they have an adjustable trigger, I'll always set the screw all the way back because I like the least amount of movement possible in my trigger. That's what I do to them. Lobster, oh god, ScarJo Ghost in the Shell was awful. Yeah, but she kind of faked like she was naked, and it made all these fanboys go, oh, she's hot. She looks like the sucker on an octopus's tentacle. I'm hitting the Cove this Saturday, I believe. That's cool. I've never been to the Cove. I heard it's an interesting place to shoot. Fuse 8771, do you have any experience with the Springfield Armory 1911 loaded operator 5-inch? Looking at picking that up in the next few days to go with your mil spec. My operator that I had was not a loaded operator. My operator that I had was one that was sent to Wilson Combat and had the full rebuild done to it. If you look on their website, you'll see it's a $2,200 rebuild on top of a $1,400 gun. So my operator was way too expensive when the guy built it, but I got it for a good price. And Ryan owns my operator, and he won't sell any of my guns back to me because he's a mean jerk. But yeah, I like the operator. I would definitely go with it over the Garrison. Rip Gaston Glock. Yes, but you could use one of those vacuum seal bag things and then put them in Tupperware and just plant them. Also, I said at the beginning of the stream, if you weren't here for the beginning of the stream, now that Gaston Glock is dead, Hopefully, it will allow some innovation at Glock, even if it's just design innovation. You don't have to change your internals. But I'm tired of the exact same gun being released in different flavors. Because you got the 49, and of course, TFB TV, all these channels that are getting the guns for free. They're saying, is this the best Glock ever? It's a 19 frame with a 17 slide on it. Who gives a shit? That doesn't make it the best Glock. Shrinking the frame and putting a longer barrel on it. Oh, gee, did the XL do that from SIG or the Taurus? That's not a good example, but the GX4 did it, or the Taurus G3X, or any other manufacturer that's ever done a small frame, long barrel gun. Gee whiz. For those of you that don't know why that matters, sight picture is important, but also how you print is important. So you've had guns like the 45 and the 19 from Glock. Glock put a 19 slide on a 17 frame. Then they came out with 47, which is a 17 on a 45 frame. However, they put a spring cup on it so that you can run a 19 spring, so that you can take the 47 top off and put it on a 19 and create basically a 49. But additionally to that, they also said, screw you to everybody that loved the 17, and they stopped making the optics cut 17 because they have the 47. So that's my problem with Glock. Hold on. We just went super shitty with our quality here. Is that me or you? Yeah. Give me a second here, guys. I might have to drop off Wi-Fi. Don't know what's happening there. A lot of people keep trying to text me, though. Look at that. Gigi, got it, get it, but it be. I didn't notice that the screen had gone funky, so let me know if it's better now. Since I'm doing it on the phone, you're not getting high quality anyways, but it sucks when it goes bad. Lobster 11, I don't understand people jizzing over whatever Glock's been putting out the last 20 years. It's a Glock. It's like getting hard over the new gen Corolla. It's a good functional car, but not worthy. Yeah, pretty much. Are we still live? Oh, yeah, more people are joining. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, sorry. This is a phone mount. Sorry. My delay got shorter. Okay, we still have audio. Oh, my Wi-Fi is acting up. And I have 1.8 gigabit. I don't get the emojis, but yeah, the 49 is just a 47 with a dedicated 19 frame. My eye is drooping. How many of you guys are coming into this and just watching an idiot poking himself in the eye? I have to get my LASIK redone, at least in my left eye. Ow, it hurts when I push my eyeball in. Yeah. Let's see. What else? Type stuff. Space Daddy, any reviews on on AR pistols or AK pistols? I actually have my Daniel's CMMG Banshee chambered in for Sig Mags, sitting over on my couch there, and I just did a video on the Smith & Wesson Response. Hold on. Okay, yeah, sorry, I'm getting drops. I don't know why. Hopefully I'm back. Wait a second. We back? Says we're back. This is professional shiz right here, man. This man knows exactly what he's not talking about. I'm back. Yeah, no, it did on me, but now I came back, so hopefully it'll stay together. But I just did one on the Smith & Wesson Response, which is another polymer-based Kel-Tec ripoff. But yeah, we'll talk about that in another video. It's not dropping on you. Well, like I said, it did on me, so hopefully we're back. We're doing it fine. Yeah. I'm trying to see. The camera is wider than what my... Hold on. I'm trying to Now I have the huge delay again. God damn it. So, yeah. You watching an idiot stretch his hands. Okay, anyway. What else were we talking about? Anybody got an anticipated thing they're waiting for in 2024? They killed off the Hemi. The Challengers and Chargers are done. I wish Caltech had better quality control. You remember you liked their idea with the SU-16. I have one. Mine functions 100%, and there goes the quality again. What am I connected to? I'm connected. Anyway, all right, sorry. Yeah, we're having a bad time with this right now. We're at 112 minutes, so probably won't keep going too much longer. I'm having a problem with the Wi-Fi in the house. Have to reset the connection probably. It's actually what happens when the people above me are using the Wi-Fi. It screws with mine. The SU-16, I have one. It's an interesting gun. Mine runs reliable. Taking it to the range, put a red dot on it, and it cycled everything. I was using green tip, so maybe that made a difference, but yeah. But anyways, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, 2024. They're killing the Hemi Challenger. They're all done. Hemi Challenger, Hemi Charger, Hemi 300. I think they're going to kill the Durango at some point or go to a twin turbo setup. So that'll be interesting to watch. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. None of your damn biz. Any thoughts on subcompacts? I'm a very big-ish person. I'm trying to look for stuff that I have that can be size comparison. This is an iFixit kit. It's the Mako, so it's the pretty decent sized one. And my hand can mostly cover one. So for me, a subcompact is not really something that I'm really digging. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting drops all over the place now. I keep bouncing between on and off, on and off, on and off. It could also be my computer that's dropping the connection. So we'll have to see. Sympathizer, hi, I love your videos. Thank you. I love your name. Ask me a question. Even if I give you the wrong answer, it'll sound right. Thank you, though. Thank you. If you like my videos, I appreciate that. It sucks that I have to concentrate on making so many shorts. But yeah, I appreciate that. Sorry, I have such a huge delay now that I don't know what's going on. SIG 365 X macro is too small as well. Yeah, I can deal with it, but yes, if you're going to go that big, there are better guns out there. Sympathizer 43X mods. If you're going to mod one, depending on how you're going to use it, if you're going to use one for carry, don't mess with the trigger. Leave the trigger stock. If you want one, get an optics cut one. That'll be fine. But there aren't a lot of mods I would do. I would definitely do the Shield Arms mag upgrade because for the 43X, you can get 15 rounds in a 10-round spot. So that's the number one mod I would do. Jason, JDM or domestics? Yes. When I started in the business, I used to drive a Dodge Omni. So that shows you the quality I started with. But I had a lot of Civics. I had a lot of turboed cars. I actually had American version of like JDM style stuff because I had like, if you remember Super Coupes, Thunderbird Super Coupes back in the day, they were supercharged and turbocharged guns or cars. I read the name gun. And yeah, I used to have a bunch of those. Yeah, it's actually my computer. My RJ45 jack in the back of the computer is messed up, so it's throwing everything off. If I had just looked down, I would have seen the problem. What's my thoughts on the CZP-09? I've had one. They're nice. I don't know what I just did. Hopefully I didn't just disconnect my... Go away. Go away. Go away. I just bought a S23 Ultra and I'm dealing with shit. But yeah, I like the P09, but I like the P10 a little bit better than the P09 personally. Hot Cold Man. Hey man, sorry if you already answered this, but how's the LASIK eye procedure treating it? I'm blind as shit and thinking about it. I will say that I just mentioned it. I have to go in and get my left eye revised. Um, I knew it when they were doing it because as they were laying the lens back over, my eye shifted, but they said it was within spec. But my left eye, unless I'm looking out of the edge of the eye, I can't focus it on purpose. Like if I'm super sleepy, total blur. So they need to go in and fix it. If you have bad astigmatisms, it's definitely going to help. It could be a good thing for you in the long run, but yeah, really consider it because if you can get by with glasses, it's not worth $5,000. If you have to have it done, I was a fool. I got it done. I probably should have just bought glasses. That's my opinion because I can't work on electronics up close without using a magnifier now. Let's see. Lobster, what was the US version of the Mitsubishi 3000 or GT 2000? Was there a 2000? Mitsubishi's Pentastar collaboration. That was when they had the Mitsubishi and Chrysler. They had the Conquest. You had all the Eclipse, the lasers. You had the Stealths. But the GT 2000 I'm not familiar with. The GT 3000 is the Dodge Stealth. It keeps dropping. I'm getting pissed. I'm having fun arguing with people in your shorts. It's amazing how uninformed people can be. It's not that they're just uninformed. I think they just want to argue. They have to argue. They jump in and they argue with everything. I'm only 26, so the oldest car I remember was the 3000 GT. He taught me how to drive a manual. They're great cars. It under warranty, LOL. Yes, actually, your LASIK is covered. You get a free revision, but I think this one will just be redone because they screwed up. It's been 6 months and it's not working. Also, your night vision goes away. My night vision is terrible. If you have a bad astigmatism, they warn you about this, but I constantly see. Just my gaydar goes off now because I see a rainbow under every light source at night. So you have the light, a bloom, so you get big bloom, and then I see a rainbow underneath the light on my left eye. So, yeah. 3000, okay, typo. Thank you. Yeah, the Dodge Stealth was the Mitsubishi 3000 GT for the American market. And when you got to the 96 and you got the 6-speed and the better body, I actually think the 3000 GT looks less cool than a Dodge Stealth RT twin turbo. It said somebody's comment was. I'm going to view the message. When I tap on it, it makes me. Okay, cool. It was held for repair. Oh, I don't care about that. Try not to cuss too much in text. Yeah, we'll just leave that hidden. I can cuss, but yeah, try not to type cuss words. The algorithm automatically hides those. Maybe this is a little too personal, but what is your favorite pastime? So I have this, right? I have this really nice computer, RTX 4080, 12900K, water-cooled, 15-inch monitor inside of my PC case because it's that big. And I wind up just playing solitaire while watching videos on my phone. It used to be to draw, but I can't see well enough to draw anymore, and my hands don't work anymore. No, reading, honestly. I like to read. I do enjoy Audible when I'm driving, but I do like reading, so I'll pull up something on my screen and just read it. Nothing's too personal. Well, some things are too personal to put out on a live stream, but nothing's too personal for me. What are we at? When do we start? We're at 2 hours. This is not refreshing. I'm going to refresh my page real quick. Hang on 1 second. There we go. What books recommendation? If you haven't, I like them all. But if you haven't read The Martian, read The Martian. It's much different than the movie. Matt Damon did an incredible job. He was great. I think Nathan Fillion would have been a better Mark Watney, but Matt Damon did an incredible job. But there were a lot of A lot of things wrong in that. I prefer thrillers. Michael Connelly books, I can read them, but they're all just the goddamn same. So once you read one, they're all going to be very similar. I do like suspense books. I don't read horror as much as I used to, but I also do like some historical things like that. One of my favorite sites that's still up, if you enjoy stuff like that, is Listverse. Listverse is a top 10 thing. They take stuff from all over the internet. So yeah, they are taking other people's work, which is a little shady and shitty. But it gives you a lot of different things to look at, and then you can go and learn them on your own. So that's what I would recommend there. Are you going to SHOT Show this year? I have not applied to go, and I don't know if I would go if they let me, because I'm not a YouTuber. And I've said that a lot just because I have some subscribers. I don't consider myself a YouTuber. So I don't think I would want to take a week out of my time. Plus, I'm handicapped and I can't walk much. So I'd be in the rascal, going around. If Daniel goes next year, I'll probably go with him. And I'll probably make videos there. But I'm not, it's too big for me with my disabilities to go. Nathan Fillion is underrated. Yeah. He's one of those guys, kind of like Alan Ritchson. He got his major, like, prime breaks later in life. Castle, The Rookie, Firefly. But yeah, I believe he is. If you have enough people interested, you should do what J2Sense does, where he rates people's PC gaming setup. I'm not a huge social media guy. I have YouTube, Twitter, X, whatever. I have Facebook, and I never check the channel. And I do have like Snapchat and Instagram. They should all be listed somewhere in the description, but I don't really use them. I'll upload to them, but YouTube primarily is where I put stuff because, again, I'm not really trying to make this a living. I just want to get information out, if that makes sense. But it would be fun to look at other people's setups. I know J2Sense would rip this one apart. Because if you look closely, I've got plastic tubing right here because I don't have the extension in there, which would run down to make that parallel. I have this in there because that pipe was too short and I was too lazy to bend another one. My cable management, if you saw the backside of it, this is the best I've ever cable managed recently. But I've also had to cut it and snip it because I've changed a lot of things. So I have a fan controller right here because I keep a fan on my desk. Doesn't work on a small blade. But yeah, it would be fun, but I don't know. If I got big enough, that would be interesting. But go over to X. It's at Jiminy something. That's professionalism. Let me see. I'm going to type in Twitter because I think if I just type in X, it's not going to work right. Yeah, it's still Twitter. Let's see. My name there is... Also, I just spent like 2 months yelling and making fun of YouTube, so I don't know how much they're going to like that anyways. Greg Salazar, we're writing you today, but I don't can change your Prime Video experience. You started. Large companies sure love making their product shittier. Yeah, that's one. Did you know that they're going to start putting ads into Prime Videos, even though they have one at the beginning of every video? That's skippable. That's shit. Home. I want to go home. Dick and Rome. So, at Jiminy Vine. Jimmini Vine. Vine. Because I made that when I used to make Vines. And then you'll see some pictures there. And me arguing with YouTube's customer service. Ooh, what are these notifications? Home Alone actor Ken Hudson Campbell thanks fans for well wishes amid cancer scare. I don't care. Boom, 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 boom. You would probably change your mind if you start making a good chunk of change on YouTube, not going to lie. It's all about the greenback. All right, let's break this down. Up until next month will be the first time since I started doing YouTube that I'm going to get more than $1,000. I was getting like $400 or $500 a month because I don't push my shit as much as other people do. I don't have 14 fucking ads in the middle of a 20-minute video. So money is not the reason I'm doing it. I'm not gonna lie, I would spend money if I made more money doing this. I would take the money I'm making from it to buy stuff for the channel, but it doesn't really. Oh, okay, sorry. This is going back to Jason then. I used to sell cars for a living. I did it for 17 years. I was very good at it. 6-figure salary or 6-figure income, no problem. Now, because of my disability, in 2017, 2018, I made $12,000 a year. And I didn't have enough subscribers, so it wasn't monetized on YouTube. So I went from 6 figures and almost killing myself to 5 figures and living. So for me, I don't really care about the money. I wear ratty shirts, I wear ratty jeans, I have the same shoes I've had for 2 years. These hats, I buy them in bulk because, hey, look, hair. But these hats, I buy them in bulk so I don't have to change my style. If it was up to me, I would wear a black t-shirt and blue jeans every day. Although, when you look at Demo Ranch, he's the gold standard of gun channels, okay? He makes so much money off of his brand deals and his video views and his subscriber base that he has to spend the money. I'm not in that position to do. Watch my language, young man. Look. Yeah, Prime is stupid. You're on disability as well, so you know what I'm talking about. It sucks, but I don't think I'm going. Oh, if you're on disability, I'm on disability. If you have your disability card, you can upload it to Amazon. I get Prime for $6.99. Although the video is regular price. So, but yeah, you get Amazon Prime for a cheap price. Best 22 long rifle. Long rifle. Sorry, Cooper. Best 22 long rifle. If you're talking pistol, I'm going to put it between the TX22 competition or the P322. 20 rounds, 15 rounds, 17 rounds, I believe, in the bigger mags. So those are the 222 long rifle pistols I would suggest. If you're looking for a 22 rifle, the Smith & Wesson AR-22 if you want an AR platform, but the best 22 long rifle would be a Ruger 10/22. Those are my opinions. They're the ones I would recommend to anybody coming in for a first-time 22 buyer. P322, TX22, 10/22 for the rifle. Yeah, it's right on your main page in Amazon. Yeah, you can get your Prime for a much cheaper. It's like $6.99 right now, but it'll probably go up. Stamps are going up. 30 next year, they're going up. No problem, Cooper. Man, the ADD is real with this one. Other than the Prime stuff, I don't know what we were talking about. Oh, the fact that I'm not a YouTuber. Can you tell by my professionalism? People come in, they're like, hey, I'm going to see, oh my God, this guy's a moron, and then they dip. You know, my first live stream had 3 people. One was my dad. Did you do anything nice for yourself this Christmas? I slept. I had to take my mom to the airport, came back at 6:30 in the morning, and I slept till 4 in the afternoon. I'm 44, man. I don't care about getting stuff. I give stuff. I don't care about getting stuff. So, yeah. Buy any new toys this week? Buy any new toys this week? Well, the Girsan 2311 and a Smith & Wesson Response AR9. Those are what I bought. I did pick up some tech stuff. I bought an X99 motherboard because it was on sale and a few other things that way. But yeah, Girsan in the Springfield or Smith & Wesson. And I'm buying a couple of other guns too, but I have to sell other guns to buy those guns because I don't have the money. Fuse, it's more real. You are not fake. Yeah, I try not to be. I'd love to hang out with some of them guys because just like you, I watched all these guys way back when, like Demo Ranch, man, when he was just a young buck out in the woods just doing his stupid stuff. That was so much better. But after he got Bunker Branding up and going, pulled in all these new YouTubers, and then took on a business partner, you know, that's fine if you're going to do that. But I feel the quality of his videos have gone way downhill. Also, I'm going to put this out there. His non-representation of Texas Silencer Shop is part of the reason they went out of business. and I don't care if anybody argues with me about that, but Texas Silencer Shop was selling their products to FFLs because they could use Demo Ranch's name. And their stuff was decent. Their 30 cal can, titanium 30 cal can, is a nice can. But they start talking about all this sponsorship and how they built Demo Ranch some custom suppressors, and then he starts using other people's stuff. He has every right to do that, but if he had any sort of contractual obligation to continue pushing Texas Silencer Shop, he didn't. So he did a couple of videos, and that was it. And now Texas Silencer Shop is gone because they sent out so many things, and they gave good prices. I mean, honestly, cost on their 22 can was $200. Sell it to a customer for $389 or something like that, and then your $200 tax stamp. That was the cheapest 22 that was actually a metal serviceable suppressor, and they're gone now because of they put their name on the bigger names, and then it didn't work. Sympathizer. I like Demo Ranch when he fixed cats and dogs. Well, Vet Ranch is still around, but YouTube is the big problem with that. He would still be pushing Vet Ranch that hard, except he can't monetize it because it shows medical procedures and, you know, animals that are in dire straits and things like that. So it ruined what he was trying to accomplish, because by monetizing a channel with millions of subscribers and being able to put those up, I'm going to sneeze. He was able to invest that money into the veterinarian clinics that were on there. Because they screwed him over, medical procedures, and they screwed him over, he had to kind of step back from that, and he basically lets the other two main people that were on it with him handle it now. Damn Spot. That's why I enjoy watching you. All these gun tubers look so charming and personable. That's because they craft a careful persona. They're good but not authentic. Don't put themselves out there. Some of them can. You can definitely tell the difference. And I'm not trying. Yeah, Mike, I'm not trying. I'm not trying to call people out, but there's a very specific YouTuber who never says anything negative about a firearm. And surprisingly, he has the most T&E guns out of anybody on YouTube, and he's very well known. He took one of the worst guns in the world and praised it, okay? And again, I'm not throwing out names, because if you're into gun tubing, then you know who it is. And every one of his videos sounds super scripted, super specific. He hits super stupid points in these videos, and he always sounds like somebody from the company is on the other side of the camera watching him. So I firmly believe he is so deep in their pockets that he actually sends them the video for approval before he posts them. Not naming him. Again, if anybody else names him, great. Not confirming. But he's nothing but a shill. Honest Outlaw I like. He's very honest about his opinions. But Demo Ranch is too edited. Grand Thumb is too edited. Although he's funny, he's still pushing a weird agenda with the way he does his videos. Brandon Herrera is fully one-dimensional. If he turned sideways, he'd disappear and nobody would care. Forgotten Weapons, I love him. But because of YouTube's policy with showing prices and stuff like that, he no longer does the Rock Island auction recaps, which I enjoyed. And it's getting harder for him because he has so many videos that he's covered so many platforms. It's harder for him to come up with new stuff. Yeah, that was a nice rant. Sorry. I tend to enjoy product review channels that aren't sponsored. Yeah, I buy everything. I have, all right, I'll turn you. That gun safe came from Banggood. They sent me safes. They asked me to look at them. They didn't ask me if I wanted money. They didn't ask to approve it. They didn't ask to look at it, and they're out there. One company that I'm working on video still, but winter has stopped me, and also my health recently, is Unique ARs out of Idaho. They do custom build guns. They sent me an upper and all that stuff. Didn't ask for a penny. They said, hey man, do some videos, do some reviews, give us your honest opinion. I like them. I love them. I like it. It's on top of my Franklin Armory binary Virginia PSA lower, and I like that gun. But I don't take money. I never say yes to anybody that wants to tell me what to say, as well as ask to approve a video. So yeah. Jason, I used to like Jay's 2 cents, but he kind of turned into a brand jockey, and it's hard to believe what he says. Also, his narcissism has gotten the better of him since he got a studio. And it's another thing. He's got 3 million subscribers. He doesn't respond to almost anything. He posts like a madman, but he barely ever responds unless he's being a jerk about it. He's overcorrecting somebody. And I do it in the shorts just because 800 people will use the same joke and it pisses me off. But he seems to want to fight on Twitter. And I don't like that kind of personality. He used to answer all my Twitters when he had 1 million subscribers. When he first started doing it, I had done my first water cooled build. I sent a picture to it. His wife answered me. I had plenty of back and forth with him. And he's gotten big enough now where it doesn't matter. He has enough passive love that he doesn't have to cater to anybody anymore, and he doesn't, which is sad. I know he does live streams, but he does it to make money. He does it with brand deals. He does all this. I don't have any brand sponsors, never have, and I never will. So there's that. They send him a list, and he does. He turned his back on AMD and Asus this year. I thought the same thing until that. You got a point. Asus, I've been following the drama, okay? Asus has a problem with customer service. Their customer service is pretty terrible. If you buy something with an Asus product, like from Micro Center or Newegg, and you can get that 2-year warranty for like $11, I would recommend you do that, specifically for the fact that to RMA with Asus, you need every component. You have to have the receipt. You have to have all this crap. Micro Center, 2-year warranty on, I don't have anything Asus in here anymore. But let's say this was a Strix 4080. Micro Center, with their 2-year warranty, will just replace it if it breaks. And then they'll handle the RMA. I'd rather have that because Asus customer service blows the big falota. So yeah, AMD, I ditched AMD this year, but only just because I prefer Intel for gaming. I prefer, like, this is the 12900K. And I got more money from my 5950X than I would have for the 12900K. But yeah, he's also banned Thermaltake from his channel because Thermaltake basically was single-handedly responsible for Case Labs going out of business. And I get that as well. Yeah. Let's see. Chinese companies tend to be all flash and bang on the outside, but they are dog duty on the inside. Yes. If you open up any of these Chinese-made cases, the internals of all of them, this is a Phanteks 719. That's why it's the big one. This is not the Elite. It's not the ginormous one. But this was a dual system capable. It's so big, like I said, that's a 15-inch monitor, 15.6-inch monitor. So imagine your laptop, and it fits inside of my case. But a Chinese big one is going to have sharp edges. A lot of them don't paint the interiors. The material is inferior. They look cool on the outside, and they give you all these expensive looking fans that use daisy chain Molex. That should just tell you the quality right there. Like, I have Thermaltake ring fans because I thought they were nice back in the day. But I also believe that on this one, I have, I got shit plugged in, but I have just Corsair fans in the front, and I don't even know what brand those are. I think those are Fractal as well. I pull my stickers off so I can't read them. I will invest in slightly better stuff. Can't tell if the Chinese companies just have no shame or they just don't give a rat's behind. A little bit of both. The problem with the Chinese market and with embargoes and restrictions against companies selling certain items to China, look at the GPU restrictions that were just implemented against China because they could use it for AI learning. They are only able to acquire technology that is a generation or old because unless they're in the government, obviously. And there are parts of China where you can get that stuff, mainland China, Shenzhen, all those places where they actually manufacture this shit. Those are available. But like for these PC case companies, they're not going to invest the time to redesign an entire case or put the power supply shroud in the right place or make it so that like your cutouts are in the right spot for an EATX motherboard. They don't care because they don't have access to the right stuff. I watched a Chinese dude build his Bing Chili, ni hao, ni hama. I just said something, didn't I? Praise China! Shit, live stream's gonna die. It's a joke. And if they can say shit on FX, I can say it here. Let's let's see, where are we at? 2.5 hours. We're gonna go a little longer. If there's something else you want to know, let me know. Barbecue Barnes, what up, Jimmy? Question: I'm on a budget and I'm looking at the CZP10F or the Canik TP9SF. I'm in a state where I have to buy one gun at a time. What do I think? The TP9SF has a better trigger. The CZ is a better shooting pistol. You take the top off of a Canik, right? Especially the TP9 lineup, and you feel how top heavy it is. A P10 is kind of heavy, but it has interchangeable backstraps, so you can fix that easier than the Canik. And I believe you said P10F, so I'm imagining that's just the full size. The barrel is going to be longer than the SF. You're going to have a longer sight radius, and I believe you didn't say if you're getting an optics cut one, and I don't remember if the SF from TP9 was optics cut because that's previous generation gun. So if they're not optics cut, you're going to get a longer sight radius on the P10. You might get the Dawson precision sight on the TP9 SF. The SFX comes with the Dawson precision sights. I'm not sure about the SF. You can't go wrong with either of them. Personally, I would go with the CZ first, also because they're killing the P10 line. Or that version of it. Jason, all right, Joe, I got to go out with the in-laws. Sorry, I don't have anything. You don't have to donate, brother. This is what I'm having fun doing. I'm trying to engage with people more, and I want you guys to be able to just ask me any questions you want. So perfectly fine. You don't have to donate anything. Merry late Christmas. Merry late Christmas to you. Just thanks for coming and hanging out, dude. It makes it worth it to me to see so many people that come and just hang out. So enjoy your in-laws. Hopefully you like them. Hopefully they like you. And then come back on Sunday, because that's when we'll do the next one. I'll probably do it from the office, just because it'll be quieter. Yeah, I'm starting to lose my voice. I've been talking for 2.5 hours. I don't know how Twitch streamers do it. You probably drink a lot of liquids. I drink a lot of... Where's my liquids? Oh! Okay. There we go. To the guy that just dropped into the stream, it's water. Anything else going on? Anything fun and surprising on the horizon? Hey Garrett, Merry Christmas to you too. Dude, Jason, man. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate that. Every dollar goes into buying a round of AR-15 ammo. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. You're a king. Yeah. Psych. Yeah. Love you. Thank you. Love you, Dad. But yeah, go to your room. Oh wait, you got to go over the damn spot. Thank you, the damn spot. Again, you guys don't have to do that. I appreciate it. I'm not here for donations, but thank you so much. But yeah, have fun with your in-laws, dude. Thank you very much, Spot. You're a king for doing anything. Richard Strausser, favorite pistol. Right now, my favorite pistol is my 1911s. So it's a type of no, I don't stockpile ammo, and that's a problem. But my favorite pistol right now would be currently my 1911s. So I have a double stack Para Ordnance that I'm working on right now. So Para Ordnance created the double stack 1911 for the commercial market. They actually created it for the competition market. They were the first one to bring it to the market. They actually used to sell them as just frames that you completed yourself. That's what I have. I actually have a Canadian-built Para frame. So before they were Para USA, they were Para in Canada. That's the one I have. So Freedom Group had nothing to do with it. And that's the gun I'm currently in love with right now. I bought a bunch of mags. A viewer of the channel donated me a boatload of mags, which I loved. So again, thank you very much to that subscriber. Yeah, but no, I don't stockpile ammo. That's a problem I have. I'll buy like 2 or 3 weeks worth of ammo at once, but you know, a few $100 worth, but that gets expensive. And I don't buy on sale. I just buy from my buddies when they get it in because I can get it at just above cost. Barbecue, thank you. Great content, thank you. How's the grip on that? It's thinner than you would expect on the Para Ordnance because they cut it on purpose and it uses a thin grip. However, the Rock Island double stack grips work, and I'm going to be going to those excuse me, because there's a set of lock grips that are made for it, and I'm going to put a magwell on it. Not as bulky as you would think. If you've held a Staccato or if you've held a Prodigy, not much different than that because the magazine's about the same size. Fuse. I load my 38 and 357, but the APC I just buy. Yeah. I have a lot of 5.56. I'll buy it whenever it's on sale. I have a lot of 22 because it's just cheap. You know, you're buying a couple of $100 worth of 9. You can buy a couple of boxes of 22 for like $8. So I'll throw that in there. But typically, if I go out to shoot a couple of 100 rounds, I'll buy like 300 rounds and then I'll have 100 extra just in case I need to refilm something. If I don't, then the next time I go out, I buy a couple of 100 rounds, things like that. Tattoo Johnny, thank you. Thank you so much. That says your first super on the stream. Congratulations. Appreciate that. You don't have to do that. You can ask questions. You don't have to worry about that. I literally, if you go through the whole thing, I'll answer every question. But thank you. I really appreciate that because that'll go directly to the channel. Thank you so much, dude. Barbecue. Let me answer Barnes first. Para got purchased by who? They were purchased in 2012 by Freedom Group, who also owned Remington and a bunch of other companies. In 2016, they realized that they could kill Para Ordnance because they used to sell the Para Ordnance P14 for $750. They killed it and came out with the Remington R1 Enhanced and charged $1,400. If you look at first year R1 Enhanced guns, the rear sight still says Para Ordnance on it. That's shite behavior on the part of Freedom Group. That's why they went bankrupt. Let's see. Garrett Thorne. Sorry if somebody already asked you, already talked about it, but how do you feel about Mr. Glock's passing? It's sad when anybody passes. He is old, so, you know, good, great, long life. He created a monster of a company. Now that he's dead, hopefully it's going to lead into more innovation and design changes within Glock. You don't have to change the pre-cock double safe, whatever bull crap you want to call their trigger. You don't have to change that. I would put a different trigger shoe on it, lighter disconnector, lighter bar, you know, little things. Change the freaking design of your guns. You did it with the 48. You changed the grip angle. Do it with the rest of your dang guns, man. But yeah, like I said, it's sad that he died, but he was old. He had a long life. He made a lot of money. He made a lot of guns. We salute you, Glock boy. But yeah. Have I ever shot a CZ97? And if so, how do I like it? No. I have shot the K2 from SAR. SAR Schmalz. The SAR Schmalz K2 is basically a 97 in a different body. I like the way they feel. I like a heavy round. Rip Glock, daddy. Fine. I hope his kids keep the company as profitable as it has been because he deserves to make money. They deserve to make money. They produce a very reliable gun. I was going to talk about the Corolla, same thing. But yeah, it does nothing to me. I have a problem with getting emotionally attached to people, so I just don't. Thankfully, John Moses Browning died before my grandfather was born, I think. No, I think my grandfather was born in 33. I'm 44. My father's 65. So that would be 20 years, 70, 50. So he had my dad when he was 50. Yeah, my grandfather was born in 39, so he was already dead. Gaston was born in 1922. Yeah, so he was a very old man. 101. They should do a Glock 101. That could be... They should chamber it for 50 GI, but make it a small frame, and they should put it in a Tupperware box that's shaped like a coffin with a plaque saying, "Thank you, Gaston." And if you do it, I said it first. If you do it, I said it first, so I want all the royalties. The Glock 101 in 50 GI with a Glock 30 frame. That's going to sell so well. Let's see. I'm surprised YouTube would actually say that. Let's celebrate their first super on a live stream. So Tattoo, man, Ask me a question, man. You gave me money, but you didn't ask me anything. I feel like a whore that didn't have to put out. Ow. Does anyone want an ETS mag for a 43X? If anybody says yes, you're banned. Or I'll mute you for a day. I should mute you right now. I could put you in timeout right now. But I'm not going to. Love the videos, by the way. Keep it up. Thank you. If you become a member, you can see all the other videos I've already filmed and posted. I'm getting tired. We're hitting 2.5 hours, so probably going to end it here in 5 minutes. So at 9:40 Eastern. Mama, 4 plus 5 isn't 40. Get back in the closet. Okay. So, I don't need you guys to be here to entertain myself. I talk to myself a lot. This eye is droopy as fork. Quick, get less Asian. Are they red? Oh, yeah, look at that. That is some quality stuff. I look like a bloodhound. Is this the quality that you guys wanted? Is this the videos that you... Oh, my God. Zombie brains. Sympathizer. Came with the gun when I bought it. Tried to give it back, but they wouldn't. The way I respond to those is I shoot them. I just realized that my replay is frozen. I can see your text, but I'm not seeing me talking. There we go. Did you guys see me just doing all that stupid stuff? Let's see. Brains. No questions. I've picked up a lot more valuable information from you than a lot of the other channels. I'm glad to hear that, sir. Thank you. Or ma'am. Tattoo, could be a lady. But I appreciate that. I try to give information that's relevant and my opinions. I mean, some people I'm not going to name his channel, but pretty sure that Lobster knew who I was talking about. But yeah, I don't care if a gun is 48 millimeters shorter than the non-48 millimeter shorter version. I don't care. I care how it fits in my hand. I care how the controls feel. I care if the metal that the slide lock is made out of is a piece of sheet metal that doesn't work, like some ambidextrous guns where you can't drop the side if you're shooting with your left hand because they built it to look ambidextrous, but the minute you put it in your left hand, you can't shoot the damn thing because I shoot ambidextrously because with my nerve damage, I never know which arm's going to stop. So, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, man. Ma'am, ma'am, man, manwich. My niece loves that. So, yeah, cool. Any other questions as we're going to just kind of flutter out? Flutter. 16 to 18 to 19, 20 people every video. Live stream makes me want to keep doing it. Now I'm going to stroke a cat. He's hanging off the edge of the desk. Yeah, kitty. Can you give my friend Mike Hawk a shout out? Well, I just read it out loud, so Mike Hawk. Yeah, I'm not saying it the way you want me to. Mike Herc. Nice try, XDR. Mike Herc. You should have put C-A-U-L-K. Unless I'm being a jackass right now and your friend is actually named that. Say it fast. Oh, dude, that sucks, Fuse. You broke your back and cut your spine. That sucks. I have, due to some childhood trauma, I have 4 floating ribs that like to lock up again, and I have a floating sternum. So, if like medical, your ribs should attach directly to your sternum, and your sternum should attach to the full rib cage. My sternum floats. So if I lean back too far, it'll actually lock between 2 ribs. That's always fun. None of your damn business. Have you ever had any Charter Arms revolvers? Yes, I had a 9mm and the Bulldog in 9mm and a 357. They were fine. I was floating in between wanting to get into revolvers and not get into revolvers, but it's hard to make videos on revolvers. Although I just made a 9-minute video on a Smith & Wesson LCR X and my Burgo 22 long rifle, so I guess I can. Yeah, heard that hurts. Not as much as breaking your back, though. I'm not comparing. I'm not one of those guys. We have a family friend that if you have an issue, his is 10 times worse. I'm not one of those guys. But yeah. Go to Iceland. It's beautiful. I heard it's very green. I lived in Germany for a while when I was a kid. My father was in the Army, career Army, and he was in Baumholder. That's where he was working, and we were in Neubrücke. So yeah, Neubrücke was where the family housing was, and I got to go all over there with him on the Autobahn, all that fun stuff. And then we used to go to see other places, like at the Church in the Rock in Eder Oberstein, and a few other places. And I didn't get to go to London because I didn't have a tie. I made one, and they said no, because I was in choir, and they wouldn't let me go because I didn't have a tie, and I didn't tell my parents I needed one because, you know, I didn't like ties. You have an EAA in 38. The EAA revolvers, man, they're a hell of a deal. The revolver, all of a sudden, the Windicators. The EAA Windicator is a hell of a gun. You should get one if you don't have one. Oh no, you had your Charter Arms 357 Pug blow up from the cylinders shifting. That sucks. Are you okay? Did you get hurt? Your hand? Because that sucks. Yeah, for those of you that don't know, what he's talking about is that the cylinder wasn't clocked correctly anymore, so when he went to fire it, the cylinder head moved just enough for the round to hit the back of the barrel and the internal. Yeah, that would suck. All right. Dude, I don't know what you're on about. Are you making jokes or are we talking about something serious, man? Okay. Well, I'm sorry. That sucks. Yeah. You got, I mean, if there's a question, I can answer a question, but what's up? Actually, I need to see you. All right, let's see. Have a good night. You need to go. Nothing for the rest of the night. Yeah, I'm heading out here in a minute too. I'd give, but too broke under this economy. Dude, Garrett, you don't have to donate. I appreciate you just typing what you just did, dude. Love you too. Thank you so much. Just come and hang out. When I do these, I literally just like talking for a couple of hours. So that's just what I'm doing for fun. Yeah, XTR, man. All right. Buddy cut some brass jacket to the back, and my glove saved your hand from the burn, but besides that, all good. Good. Glad to hear that. That sucks. All right, XTR. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping in. Like I said, sorry, I wasn't trying to make a joke about the Vietnam thing. It was just out of left field. So, but yeah, dude, come back for more. Appreciate it. Yeah, no, that's never a good thing. I'm actually telling everybody that this was a ricochet, but I'm not sure what the hell happened, but I pulled a piece of copper out of the side of my head from a ricochet. That's why my hair's all gone too. I had to cut it all down because I had this huge knot on the side of my head. Couldn't even sleep. It sucked. Anyways, so we went past 9:40. It's now 9:42. Are your children in bed? Especially if you're in Hawaii and it's 4 o'clock. Okay, anyways, I'm going to be done with this tonight. We're good. Thank you guys so much. Laters, man. Have a good night. Thank you, Lobster. Great engagement. Appreciate it. Come back for the next one. Like I said, it'll be Sunday, so hopefully more people will be off and they can come and check it out. 7 o'clock again. I'll put up a post a day or two before. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, you too, Garrett. Bless you. Have a wonderful one. Hope your new year starts off wonderful. Yeah. None of your damn business. Keep up lives and videos as much. appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. None of your business. I appreciate that. And it says it's your first one, so sweet, cool. I said you didn't have to do it. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you back on the Sunday one. So till then, guys, I'm out. So because I'm starting to lose my voice when I talk this much, and I want to save some stories for the next couple of them. So come back for that one. And as always, I just try to use my closing line for my videos. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya. Now we'll X and hit it again.